all its own, thanks to a tradition known as the Bayou Classic. 4 decades of history and a week long of activities. This time, a game that'll send the winner to next weekend's conference title game. But the Bayou isn't just Grambling and Southern playing football. It's the highly anticipated Battle of the Bands at halftime. Settle in, get comfortable. The 44th Bayou Classic is ready to roll. The Bayou Classic party set to continue now inside the Louisiana Superdome. Southern and Grambling ready to roll for the 44th time in the Bayou Classic. Moments ago inside the Jaguar locker room, here's what head coach Dawson Odoms had to say.
When you first came, this is where you was at. In this building, in this environment. Now you seniors, you back in this building, in this environment. History repeats itself. History does repeat itself. Proud of you guys, man. I ain't gotta give you no speech today. We know what time it is. We know what time it is, man. We gotta clock in. The mailman! Gotta clock in. Every day. You'll fight! You'll fight! That's all I'm asking you to do. As long as you work your ass off. And at the end of the day, the best team gonna be standing. Leave no doubt who that is. Leave no doubt. It's the Bayou Classic. Let's go have some fun. Unleash on 3. 1, 2, 3. Unleash on that ass.
And welcome to New Orleans. Thanks for being with us. I'm Paul Burmeister. Well, from Michigan, Ohio State to Auburn, Alabama, to what we're about to see in Grambling and Southern, we know the final Saturday in November always reserved for rivalries just like this. But we have 2 things you don't know that's coming with a rivalry. We're lucky to have 2 teams playing their best football at the right time. That's the end of the season. We also have significance, as you can see there. If Grambling wins for the 10th consecutive time, they play in the conference title game next week. And if Southern wins their 7th in a row, that opportunity will be theirs. Looking forward to the company in game throughout the next 4 hours of Anthony Herron and also Charles Arbuckle. With a game like this and 2 teams playing for the title, it's no surprise we have the 2 best quarterbacks, or the 2 highest rated quarterbacks in the conference as well. Let's begin, Anthony, with Grambling.
Devontae Kincaid is going to take the snap from behind center for Grambling. And he transferred from Ole Miss for moments like today. He's been one of the most scintillating talents we've seen in the Southwestern Athletic Conference in a number of years. He's their reigning offensive player of the year. And it's because he's got a multi-dimensional skill set. We'll take a look at a couple of the plays that happened in last year's Bayou Classic. He's got the ability to defeat the defense both within the pocket with his arm and outside the pocket with his legs. But what I believe makes him rare is for one of these dual threat quarterbacks, he protects the football at an extremely high level. He knows how to take it the distance.
His head coach, Broderick Fobbs, likes him for all those reasons. Moments ago, here he is with Lewis Johnson.
All right, to get ready for this, what has been the message you guys get ready to take the field today against Southern?
Well, you know, we're dealing with a heck of a football team, and Coach Odoms does an exceptional job of coaching his players, and they have a lot of really good players that make a lot of great plays. So for us, it's about, you know, making them feel uncomfortable and making them do other things that we do well. So we focused on that, you know, the entire 2 weeks that we were off, and focused on trying to make sure we're healthy and ready to go.
Thanks, and we look forward to it.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so what Broderick Fobbs has in Devontae Kincaid, Dawson Odoms believes he has in Austin Howard.
Austin Howard stepped on the Southern's campus his first year, made things happen. They were expecting this guy to do all those big things. As a senior, he is now looking to win. He won his first year, and he's outstanding. A mental playbook in his head. You're going to see a couple of plays here that will show you that. The ability to go one way, come the other. Receiver makes a play, gets in for 6. Austin Howard has the capacity to do these kind of things. He finds his open receiver. He will pick you apart if you're not there. Injured early in the year, coming back strong. Really looking forward to a great Bayou Classic.
Yeah, let's go down to Lewis Johnson for more.
Well, Austin, you're on record saying that you're only as good as your last performance. So what would it mean to come out here in your last shot at the Bayou Classic to lead this team to a win and on to the SWAC title game?
Oh, man, it'll mean everything, you know, just for the Jaguar Nation. You know, they travel from near and far to see their kids play, to see their relatives play. And, I mean, we one big family. So, I mean, to get this win, it'll mean everything for them and for me.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
And the table is set. The Jaguars taking the field. The Tigers coming out to follow. And what's next is the 44th annual Bayou Classic with a shot at the title on the line.
Where your seafood comes from has everything to do with its flavor, its quality, and even its safety. Cheap imported seafood raised in ponds overseas has nothing on the incredible flavor and quality of the fresh fish, shrimp, crabs, and oysters caught right here in Louisiana waters. We all know that the best dishes are made with the best ingredients, and Louisiana seafood is the best you can buy. So know what you're buying and make sure you're serving delicious Louisiana seafood. Because when you know better, you eat better.
No service? Come on.
Make sure you've got coverage where it matters most.
I just want to post a picture!
Switch to the smart choice, Cricket Wireless, and get a network you can count on at a price you can count on.
My hygienist told me to try a mouthwash, so I tried Crest. It does so much more than give me fresh breath.
Crest Pro Health Mouthwash provides all of these benefits to help you get better dental checkups. Go Pro with Crest Mouthwash.
Checkup? Nailed it.
102 hot chocolate?
No. No. Yes. Girl, yes.
Oh, and absolutely.
So tell me about your game. How'd it go?
Keep up the good work, Your Honor.
The one place that'll always be your place. Mickey D's.
Thursday night, a rivalry reignites, and everyone's getting together to watch the fireworks. Redskins, Cowboys on NFL Network and NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
Hey, think you've seen it all in razors? Get ready to see shaving in a whole new light.
Introducing the all-new Tough Blade Pro, the breakthrough in precision shaving from MicroTouch, with a laser guide for perfect alignment, a built-in spotlight, and vibrating handle.
This isn't just a new razor. This is a better way to shave, period.
Fitted with the finest German-engineered stainless steel blades, smart space to rinse out cleaner, and each blade has a micro-thin non-stick coating to help last up to 4 times longer than ordinary blades. Now, you can have an entire year's worth of shaving, all for just $24.99. Call 1-800-989-6508. Or on the web at toughbladepro.com. Or you can text to order. Just text BLADE to 246810. Order right now, and we'll include our lighted MicroTouch trimmer free.
Tough Blade Pro. See the quality, see the value, and now, see the light.
Welcome back to New Orleans. Grambling and Southern about to get underway with the Bayou Classic. Time now for the national anthem. Let's go to Superdome public address announcer Mark Romick.
And now, to honor America, the veterans of all of our armed forces, and the men and women in uniform, would everyone please rise, remove your hats, and join in the singing of our national anthem, performed by Marine Corps Band, New Orleans. Ladies and gentlemen, Marine Corps Band, New Orleans, and the United States Army Cadet Command.
44th annual Bayou Classic coming up. Grambling coming in. There's a look at Southern. number 7, Austin Howard, is the quarterback, the most experienced quarterback in Southern history. Be taking on a Grambling team that comes in with 9 consecutive wins. Devontae Kincaid, quarterback for the Grambling Tigers. And guys, for everyone who saw Grambling win last year, impressively 52-30, Anthony, how was this team, although it's still very good, how was it different than last year's?
Throughout the regular season, they haven't been quite as explosive as last year. Devontae Kincaid, as a quarterback, has still protected the football at a high level, not as experienced at wide receiver. So that's a big difference with the way, even as he goes to those second and third reaction moments, Charles, they haven't had quite as many explosive plays.
When we talked to Coach Fobbs, that was the one thing he said on the field. We also, after the Arkansas Pine Bluff game, we were struggling. We had to find a way to get things going. Once they did, they were in much better position.
And both quarterbacks, guys, without some major pieces of their offenses from last year. If you're Austin Howard, you don't have your leading receiver in Willie Quinn in program history, the all-time leading rusher in Leonard Tillery, and also Devontae Kincaid without Chad Williams, who had 90 catches a year ago.
Went on in the National Football League, so he's taking his talents on to the next level. So both quarterbacks have had a few things to get over. Austin Howard had an injury. He had to battle a bit during the season as well. So he only missed 2 games, but there was about a month after that where it still didn't feel like, in talking to Dawson Odoms, where he was quite back to normal yet. But we're going to see the healthiest version of Austin Howard we've seen all year today.
3 short stature receivers making big plays down the stretch. That 6-game win streak, it changed his team, and you can see why they're playing at such a high level now.
Those 3 short receivers for Southern, Jamar Washington, Kendall Catalan, and Cameron McKay, all listed at 5'9" and under.
A couple of them are some generous heights. But no, it doesn't matter, because what they can do is they want to get them matched up on safeties and create some issues with those safeties.
Sure. All right, turn it around. Turn around this way. Come around this way. Grambling is one to toss. Choice is second high. Southern will receive the football.
So the Jaguars, led by Dawson Odoms, will get us started here on offense after they receive the kick. And amazing what Dawson Odoms has done his 5th season as the Southern head coach. 34-8 conference record. 5th season officially as the head coach. You can add on a 6th if you count his time as the interim head coach.
He took this program over from Stump Mitchell back during the 2012 season. And 2013 on, we've seen him rebuild the Southern program in a similar fashion to what Broderick Fobbs has done at Grambling State. I mean, when you think about reclamation projects, these 2 head coaches have just done spectacular work. And talking to Dawson Odoms, he really feels like if it wasn't for Grambling State being in the same division with them, then this Southern program would be going to the SWAC Championship game year after year.
He said that right away. He said, these are the guys that we have to get through, and we know we have to do that. I've got a senior quarterback. I've got a guy that can pull the trigger. I know what we can do. He's excited about the opportunities, such as Broderick Fobbs as well.
The Southern start of the season, knocking off South Carolina State, as you guys have kind of alluded to. Took a step back there at the beginning of the season. They lost 3 consecutive games. They really had to find themselves on offense. You mentioned the 3 shorter wide receivers coming into play the second half of the year. We'll get our look at them coming up, as Southern's going to have the ball first. 65th all-time meeting between Southern and Grambling. It officially became the Bayou Classic a little after that, a couple of decades later. This is the 44th annual Bayou. They moved it here to New Orleans. Initially at Tulane Stadium, didn't have enough room in the stands to fit the popularity of the game. They moved it here inside the Superdome. And this is where it's happened every year since 1975. Danny Johnson will take a knee. And out comes the Southern offense, led by senior quarterback Austin Howard.
Offensively, it's an offensive line for Southern that had a few fits and starts earlier in the season, especially from a protection standpoint. But Jeremiah Abbey at the left tackle, Dawson Odoms, his coach, calls him the brain trust of how they operate up front. Herb Edwards, you mentioned Leonard Tillery earlier, Paul. Edwards has had to take over the running back position, and he's on pace to go for over 1,000 yards with a big effort today.
Averaging exactly 100 yards per game coming into this one is Herb Edwards. A lot of patience. Not only sat behind Tillery, Anthony also sat behind Leonard Fournette in high school. First ball, his first offering, is intercepted by Grambling.
Terrius Pouncey had one last year, and right away he's in position. There's pressure up the middle. Right away coming at him, and you can see Christmas. Darius Christmas with the pressure on the inside, and it forced him into a bad decision.
And that's part of why Darius Christmas is in line to potentially be the Defensive Player of the Year in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, because not only does he make plays at the second level, they bring him on blitzes down after down. It sets up these takeaways for the Grambling secondary.
At 26 takeaways forced by the Grambling D, easily #1 in the Southwest Athletic Conference. One play, one turnover, and now here is Martez Carter and Devontae Kincaid. Carter motions out of the backfield. And a penalty marker is down.
You got to play clean in games like this. Yeah.
False start. 16 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 2 first down.
The Tigers turnover margin, guys, right now an incredible +20.
They just find ways. They practice it. They know how to go after the football, and when it's in the air, they attack it.
Eerily similar to the start of last season's Bayou Classic. Southern actually had a great drive going last season. Austin Howard fumbled on the 1-yard line. Second possession of that game, threw an interception. So the takeaways get Grambling going.
Kincaid coming in for the second year in a row at the Bayou as the #1 rated quarterback in the SWAC. Empty backfield, sets up the screen to Darrell Clark, cuts it back, and makes it out to the 36-yard line.
Darrell Clark had an innate ability to make him miss right there and just get the ball out. Kincaid, tempo, throws the ball there, make one guy miss. I call it Bayou ability. Bayou ability is what he showed there.
Sets up very well. The 44th Bayou Classic. Clark, the leading receiver for Grambling, now has 32 catches on the year. Brings up second down 11. First carry for Carter off the left side. That's a first down and end zone. Martez Carter inside the 20-yard line of the Grambling offense. On the move, he was brought down by Montavious Gaines.
DeAndre Sims was able to get out after snapping the football. Lead block on the pull. Martez Carter, they call him Mr. Excitement on game day. The patience he showed in the backfield, excellent cut.
Gains 19 there. Come right back to him, spin move, and cut down to the 16-yard line. We see already the kind of make you miss that Carter has, brought down by Demario Houston.
Trenton Scott has to play well on that front line. They've got to have him protect Kincaid. Martez Carter, you've already seen his explosiveness, his ability to get by you. Mr. Excitement is his nickname.
Third leading rusher in the SWAC coming into this game. Remember him last year for the kick return touchdown to seal it. Takes the pitch off the left side, stumbles down to the 13-yard line. Let's take a peek now at the Southern Jaguar defense. That was a gain of 3 yards.
Aaron Tiller on that particular snap from the defensive end position did a nice job stringing the ball out lateral because he got movement at the point of attack. Contavious Preston, he's their seek and destroy linebacker. He'll always be on a mission to find the ball carrier. Danny Johnson, the best defensive back in the SWAC for the last 3 seasons.
And the Grambling offense coming into this one explosive and efficient. #1 in the SWAC in scoring at 32. Also the fewest turnovers with only 7. Out of the backfield, there's Carter. He gets down to the 6-yard line. That's enough for a first down. So they turn 1st and 15 into 1st and goal with that gain of 7.
That was a nice play by Augustine, though, sizing him up, the free safety coming up. Watch here in open field. You have to make sure you let him do all that juke and you find that middle of his belt. Anthony knows this, and you go and seek him. Don't let him get by you again.
The Tigers looking to take advantage of yet another turnover created by its defense on the very first play of the game. 27th turnover. An interception off of Austin Howard. It's now 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Change at running back, or 2 running backs in now for Grambling. Dre Fuselier.
Grambling has called their first timeout.
Fuselier joins Martez Carter in the backfield. Come over and have a talk with Broderick Fobbs. Grambling Tiger offense knocking on the scoring door. They already have a pick. See if they have a touchdown after the break.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
Brothers and sisters! Ain't no party like a Soul Train party. The 2017 Soul Train Awards hosted by Erykah Badu. Give it up! Get your soul right with the reunion of Ladies of Soul.
SWV to the end of time.
With performances by Fantasia, Luke James, Tamar Braxton, Faith Evans, Method Man, and more. Honoring our legend, Toni Braxton. The Soul Train Awards with host Erykah Badu. Check your local listings.
One more showdown to rule them all. Be there as the crowd roars in excitement. 10 teams battle it out to become champion. In the end, only one will stand victorious. Are you ready to witness final judgment? The 2017 Toyota SWAC Football Championship. Be a part of the action at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas on December 2nd. Get your tickets now at SWAC.org.
New Orleans tourism is 89,000 locals at work. We are the #1 job creator in New Orleans, with careers for people from every walk of life and every neighborhood. As the city's largest economic driver, the hospitality industry generates the biggest portion of New Orleans city budget. The out-of-town visitors we attract pay 42% of our sales taxes. That's the largest share of paying our police, repairing our roads, and collecting our garbage. Tourism is working every day to build a better future for us all.
The Bayou Classic on NBCSN is brought to you by Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life. By the one place that will always be your place, Mickey D's. Opportunistic Tigers doing what they do. They just created their 27th turnover of the season. The Kevin Reynolds interception now have 1st and goal, led by the top-rated quarterback in this conference, Devontae Kincaid. Has a couple of running backs with him in the backfield, Martez Carter, and also Lindemian Brooks to his left. Fakes to both, keeps it himself, and the Southern defense is there to throw him for a loss.
Anthony, on that play, they went with an eagle look. The down lineman, the nose tackle covering the center, and then both guards covered. And then they just fly in. And actually, great play by the linebacker there, coming in hard to make the play Calvin Monkeys.
It's a loss of 2. Aaron Tiller, you guys have talked about him already, the top playmaker on that front 7. Brings up 2nd and goal. Kincaid on the option, keeps it himself, cuts it back. Touchdown, Tigers.
At the end of this run, here's the previous play where you see penetration into the backfield from Southern. Then on this touchdown run, they're attacking the edge. After attacking the interior of the Southern defense, Devontae Kincaid calls his own number, gets laterally, gets vertically, takes it for 6.
He's a walk-in closet kind of guy. I mean, you get him in a...
The ruling of a touchdown on the field is under further review.
You get him in a confined area, and you think you have him, and we're showing you slow motion, and it still looked like boom. I mean, that is just great blocking up front, and they just do a nice job. And Anthony right there, he's able to make people miss. Now, did he get in?
Yeah, this will be interesting at the end of the play. It looks like it's Aaron Tiller who's trying to bring him down after hustling out of the stack, and it seems like Kincaid's actually laying on the body of the defender on about the 2-yard line, so he's not down by rule yet. Then he rolls over and is able to get the football across the stripe.
Yeah, there's a reason there was some hesitation for the call from the field, whether it was a touchdown, and a very good reason they're taking a look at it, as you can see. A little better look right here.
Yeah, his body actually laid on the defender like Anthony was saying, and it just gives you that ability. And you see the officials coming up to look. It took them a while.
Yeah.
But we have the luxury of having the ability to see it again.
And having the replay review available. This is specific to the Bayou Classic. A lot of regular season games in the SWAC, this is not an option.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Anthony, I think you brought up the key point. When he was initially looked like he was down, he was actually on top of a defender.
And if anything would have touched down, the elbow, the wrist, even the lower body portions, the shin, that could have been ruled down by contact. But the way he was laying on the body of Aaron Tiller, he was actually able to stay up in the air long enough for the touchdown.
7 plays, 36 yards. Kincaid with that 9-yard touchdown run following the Kevin Reynolds interception. And a textbook start for the Grambling Tigers, looking to win in conference for the 25th consecutive time. Devontae Kincaid told us before the game it was key to stay calm at all times. Also helps to get into the end zone on the first drive. Grambling out to an early lead.
Come to Louisiana. I'll show you the best fishing in the whole world. I can also show you some of the best places to eat fish in the whole world. Because it's prepared by some of the best chefs in the whole world. And served to you by the friendliest people in the whole world. Like Josephine. Say hello, Josephine.
Hey, sweetie.
Louisiana's calling, and she's using her outside voice. Visit LouisianaTravel.com today and plan our trip. Because around here, you're never far from a good time.
Staying ahead isn't about waiting for a chance. It's about the one bold choice you make that moves you forward. The one and only Cadillac Escalade. Come in for our season's best offers and drive out with the perfect 2017 Cadillac Escalade for you. Get this low mileage lease from around $8.99 per month.
There is a very real possibility that the murder of Biggie Smalls is directly related to the murder of Tupac.
Maybe we should try moving the router.
Slide it on your wireless router and you're good to go.
For this next one, I want to... This is Eero. Let's do this.
Sweet.
It's not a router. It's a Wi-Fi system. Eeros create a wireless mesh network that blankets every room in fast, reliable Wi-Fi.
Already in your inbox.
Now through Cyber Monday, get $50 off select Eero systems.
Laser X is the ultimate high-tech game of tag. Just choose a team or go rogue. Laser X counts your hits, shows you when to reload, and coaches you during play. The new 25-shot long-range blaster features rapid fire and super fast reloading. The new gaming tower features solo, head-to-head, or team modes that will challenge your speed and accuracy. All gear works together. You can get the original Laser X for $49.99 plus free shipping. Batteries not included. Extra blasters sold separately. Must be 18 years or older to order.
This is how the game started. Disaster for Southern. Interception on the first play. That's Jatarius Pouncey. And the Grambling offense comes right back. Daryl Clark, reception there. Devontae Kincaid, the starting quarterback, into the end zone, barely in. 9-yard touchdown. Extra point made it 7-0, and that's how it stands early in the 44th Bayou Classic.
One of the key things there, you can see Danny Johnson, one of the defenders, coming over number 1. You can't overrun Kincaid. You've got to make sure you square him up and have everybody rallying to the football. If you don't, he will make people miss.
Nice crowd inside the Superdome, just as you would expect for not only the history and rivalry here, but for a shot to play in the conference title game next week in Houston against Alcorn State. Danny Johnson deep. He's already accepted an invite to the Senior Bowl. The Vols play as a corner out across the 30-yard line. And now we'll see how Austin Howard responds after that 23-yard return. For more on Austin Howard, here's Lewis Johnson.
Oh, imagine your first throw in this big game, and it's an interception.
I watched him as he went back to the bench area there, and Austin was very relaxed and calm. He spoke with his coordinator, and then he made a point to get up and walk to speak to everybody on his defensive line to just give them the confidence that everything was okay, he'd be fine, so they'd be ready for this second series right now. Paul?
And, Lewis, you would expect that kind of call from someone making his 44th career start, the most experienced Jaguar quarterback in the program history. They go to the ground game, and the Grambling defense is there. The #1 rush defense in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, no game.
And part of the way they make that happen, Linwood Banks in the nose position, they move him around so much. You see defenders prowling around pre-snap.
Darius Christmas also, we saw him make a play earlier. Diamante Johnson, 4 picks on the year, 3 against Mississippi Valley State.
Most disruptive defense in the conference, leading in tackles for loss and sacks, and also turnovers created. They forced the throwaway there to bring up 3rd down and long. Pressure there by Deontay Hatter.
This defense will come after you, and you can see they like to pressure you. Robert Fobb said, like Nolan Richardson's defenses when he played at Arkansas, when he was coaching at Arkansas, he wants to force you into bad decisions and use that for your offense.
40 minutes of hell is what he always talks about on that side of the ball.
Force them into a bad situation here. 3rd down and 10 with a defense that loves to blitz in the known passing situations. Number 5, Darius Christmas, is the one who gets it done most often behind the line of scrimmage. Howard with time, but misfires. So the first possession ended with an interception. The second one is a 3-and-out.
Well, we saw pre-snap, Austin Howard was taking his time. You mentioned the experience he has, Paul. He was seeing the defense prowling around. He actually got the protection set well. Looked like to me, Charles, maybe he even still rushed the throw a bit.
Yeah, he did. He looked like he was a little too juiced on that. And we talked to his defensive coordinator, Trey Oliver. He said, man, he is able to break you down. And that was one of those situations where he saw everything, just didn't execute what he wanted to.
Martez Carter, the starting tailback for Grambling, back deep to receive, has 4 return touchdowns in his career. Won't have a chance to return that one. And now, guys, we've been focusing on the Grambling defense. Now it's the Southern defense that's going to have to step up and find a way to stop the Tiger O.
They're going to have their hands full. And Devontae Kincaid, we think back to last season. He transferred from Ole Miss, and a big part of the reason was he wanted to be closer to his mother, who'd had a stroke from a previous season. He becomes the starting quarterback, wasn't even able to participate in spring football. So then he goes into the fall. The first time he's able to step onto the field is on the road against a Power 5 opponent in Arizona. 15 out of 19 in that game. They had the lead before he got hurt.
And talking to folks out in Pac-12 and in Arizona in particular, they said this kid almost beat him. They were really worried with how well he played.
Steps up here, shows you a little bit of that quickness, but goes down in the backfield. And almost got back to the line of scrimmage for the Southern D. That's Calvin Lunkins.
The defensive line has to have multiple pass rushers. Yeah. You come down in the zone, and Anthony, you know this. Then you have to follow them up after this. You want your D lineman coming up to make sure they stop it.
That's going to be the recipe. It's got to be the guys up front. When you bring too many additional bodies, you leave yourself open for the big play.
Kincaid to Clark, 1st down Grambling, his 2nd catch of the afternoon out to the 48-yard line.
This one I was impressed with that I watched early, his arm. He gets the ball out really quick. He makes decisions, and then his receivers, it gives them a chance to go and make yards after catch.
Gains 14. We mentioned Chad Williams had 90 catches last year. His top 4 receivers this year combined for 92. Spreading it around quite a bit more and just floats that one away.
I like what I'm seeing early in the game. We saw Aaron Tiller from Southern's defense there as an individual up front. Tiller's had a pretty big start to the day here. He's got consistent penetration going. Will the rest of his teammates up front be able to continue playing at that level now that the field position does indicate that Grambling's already in scoring position?
First incomplete pass there for Kincaid. Comes in on an awfully efficient roll, 6 consecutive games, over 60%. With Carter out to the 49-yard line to bring up 3rd down and long.
That's the one thing you're going to have to do. When Carter runs the football, don't let him get 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. Stop him right there. Nice job by Tiller and the rest of his gang of getting there and making sure they wrap him up. He has improved not only as a run stopper, he's always had the ability with his moves in the pass rush game, but he's gotten a lot better against the run as well.
Jaguars rush 4. Plenty of time for Kincaid. Steps up. And that's going to be just enough for another Grambling first down.
There's that arm talent you were talking about, Charles. The thing is, the pocket's so clean, he can climb it. He can see all the window available to him. And when he's got that, he can deliver these kind of strikes. He doesn't have to be this big statuesque 250-pounder. He's got that kind of arm talent.
Got to stop those flood routes where you have different levels, and he's able to find the receiver in the second level.
That receiver, Caleb Salmon, gain of 10. Moves the chains. It's first down and 10. Can't get to him in the backfield, and here he goes around the right side. Great decision, and then the quickness to follow, a gain of 9.
It looks like everybody else is moving at one speed, and then he's moving at another. He's calm, but when it's time to go, he's gone. And if you don't get around him and rally him up with a couple of folks, this is what he does to you.
It's so frustrating for a defense where you feel like there's been great coverage on the back end, and then you still have a talent like Devontae Kincaid that can eat up chunk yardage.
Get used to that. We've already seen him with a 9-yard touchdown run to cap the first drive. 9 yards there, and he has 6 or more carries in every game but 1 this season.
And you can see the Southern defense substituting so they can get their linemen in, because you got to chase this guy.
And as Anthony would tell you,
Grambling is taking their second timeout.
Can make the middle of the first quarter feel like the middle of the third quarter. You do too much of that. Early in the Bayou Classic, and the Tigers with a 7-point lead.
No one knows where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't. It's the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
Where your seafood comes from has everything to do with its flavor, its quality, and even its safety. Cheap imported seafood raised in ponds overseas has nothing on the incredible flavor and quality of the fresh fish, shrimp, crabs, and oysters caught right here in Louisiana waters. We all know that the best dishes are made with the best ingredients, and Louisiana seafood is the best you can buy. So know what you're buying and make sure you're serving delicious Louisiana seafood. Because when you know better, you eat better.
Blossom. And now today, they have decided that they are going
Just
to
look at those two.
their lives.
Happy, in love, and saving so much money on their car insurance by switching to Geico. Well, just look at this setting.
Do you have the ring?
Whoa, Heltzberg Diamonds. Another beautiful setting. I'm not crying. I've just got a bit of sand in my eyes, that's all.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Third and 8, Williams takes a snap, he drops back, he's got a man downfield, he throws. It's intercepted by Phillips! He's at the 40, he's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's got one man to beat, he's going all dog!
He's going all the what?
Nothing comes before coffee. That's why we're introducing a whole new line of espresso drinks from McCafe. Cafe quality from beans to espresso machines.
Touchdown! Approximately 4 seconds ago!
It's time to find out who the real contenders are. Packers, Steelers, only on NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
Redskins, Cowboys on NFL Network and NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
All rise for Premier League mornings as Rebecca Lowe, Kyle Martino, and the Robbies bring the excitement of English football into your living room. Premier League mornings tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern on NBCSN. Beautiful morning here in New Orleans for the annual Bayou Classic Parade. Music and parades all over downtown New Orleans today. And inside the Superdome, the 44th annual Bayou Classic, thanks to an early interception and a Kincaid touchdown run. Grambling on top, 7-0, second down 1 coming up here from the Southern 31-yard line. Little play action, plenty of time, looking deep. And it'll be 3rd and 1.
Good coverage there by Demario Houston, one of the Shelby, North Carolina kids. They got a couple kids from North Carolina because the staff was at A&T, but nice job of having coverage. Not a very well-thrown ball by Kincaid. Fortunately for him, no one can touch it.
3rd and 1, 3 backs behind Kincaid. And gives off to the right side, going to be awfully close. And that's Jordan Jones, who is officially a tight end with the carry. Picks up 2, and that's a 1st down.
That was interesting before the game. Anthony and I were talking to Coach, and he said, we're going to move him to fullback next year. We want him on the field more. He can make plays, and his best position long-term is probably at the fullback position.
I know you're a big fan of Jones, too. What is it you love about his game so much?
I like what he's done a nice job blocking. If you're going to move the fullback, you have to block, but also in seam routes and corner routes, he does a really nice job of catching the football.
Averaging 22 yards per catch on his 13 catches so far. Southern defense, great job bringing down Carter behind the line of scrimmage. And that's Tyron Nash meeting him first.
Seen a lot of movement in the game, and different from the Grambling defense, Southern, when they move pre-snap, when they stem, it's normally called by Trey Oliver, Roderick Fobbs. They don't normally have as much pre-snap movement as you see from the Tigers.
The Southern defense coming off its best performance of the season, 33-7 win last time out over Texas Southern, when they gave up only 184 yards of total offense.
Well, what it does is offensive linemen have a count, and then when they see that movement, they almost get thrown off, and that's why there's so much penetration there.
2nd down 12. Kincaid out to his right. Little spin move. Even when he's brought down in the backfield. Impressive parts to the run. Brought down by Champion.
There's a collective sigh if you're Southern when you see Calvin Lunkins come in free and you think, oh, he has him. He gets around him, but you've got to have Aaron Tiller and other guys chasing him down in order to bring him down.
Brought down there for a loss of 3. Big down now for the Southern defense. 3rd down and 14.
You see they've moved over the nose position. There's Tiller in the middle now. Their best pass rusher put them over the center.
Empty backfield. 3 wideouts to the left to Kincaid. And here we go again. Moves out and fires incomplete. So with the Southern offense failing to gain a yard so far in this game, the defense comes through.
See them spy him a little bit and make sure they can keep an eye on him and not allow him to get comfortable. Right there, Kincaid wanted to get that ball off, but couldn't quite get it to his receiver.
It's been a fairly good blend, I'd say, so far from Southern's defense of some 3-man pressure, but then bringing additional guys, some blitzes with 5- and 6-man pressure also. But situationally, they're not giving Devontae Kincaid a steady diet of anything.
With his heels on his own 10-yard line, number 1 is Danny Johnson. And that'll be a 14-yard net after the 34-yard punt. Austin Howard, see if the 3rd possession is a charm, because they haven't gained a yard yet.
I didn't even think I was going that fast.
I know. It's so hard to tell all the way out here, isn't it?
Here's your ticket.
Police reported ahead. Now it tells us.
Cindy and Mike realized they had a speed problem with their network.
All right, well, let's go. Slowly, like your network.
That's why they switched to Metro PCS. Because they figured out they get 4 lines with unlimited high-speed data for only $100, period. That means no more data caps. Plus, 4 free phones of their choice from great brands. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
We are proudly born with hair that grows strong as a storm. And strong is beautiful. Pantene Gold Series.
Peace and light. It's Erykah Badu, your soul doctor. And this is Soul Right Radio. Soul Right.
Hi, Dr. Badu. How do I get my kids to eat their vegetables?
By increasing their vitamin soul intake with a double dose of Braxton's Tamar and Living Legend Tony mixed with Ladies of Soul SWV.
Will that work?
But it'll drown out them kids. Next caller.
Get your soul right at the Soul Train Awards with host Erykah Badu. Check your local listings.
Shop like a pro at the Bass Pro Shop's Thanksgiving 5-day sale for red-hot deals.
Get this Bass Pro boat bag for only $10.
Get adorable warm Woolrich home socks, 2 pairs for only $19.
The sale starts Wednesday and goes till Sunday.
I can shut down your power grids. I can paralyze your infrastructure. I can access the personal data of everyone in America. I am the enemy with no face, and I can't be stopped.
For every would-be cyber attack, there's a team of U.S. Army cyber warriors who will not be defeated. Find out more at goarmy.com/team.
These heroes don't wear capes. But when they wear this suit, all of a sudden, they're able to fly.
Coach up, baby!
Wednesday night rivalry, Lightning Bruins on NBCSN.
Welcome back to New Orleans. A lot of zeros involved for Southern quarterback number 7. 0 points, yes, but how about 0 yards? They've only run 4 plays. First was an interception, then they went 3 and out. See if they can finally get something going here. 6 minutes left in the first quarter. Paul Burmeister, Anthony Herron, Charles Arbuckle, and on the sideline, Lewis Johnson. There's the first yards for Southern. Not many, though. Herb Edwards right up the middle. Gained a couple. And it'll bring up 2nd down and 7. 2nd down and 6. Going up against the Grambling defense that's has really been the most disruptive defense in the conference by far. Number 1 in turnovers, number 1 in sacks and tackles for loss. Already +1 in the turnover game today. Howard stands in and fires. And that's his first completion to Kendall Catalan. One of his 3 freshman wideouts gained a 6.
Paul, you can see the left tackle and the left guard making sure they identified where the pressure was going to come to allow Austin Howard that time to complete that pass and pick up the first down.
A little smattering of applause here for that first down. Howard keeps it himself. Slides out near another first down. That will be a gain of 8. And fooled everybody on that aggressive Tiger D.
And now we're seeing some tempo from Southern. They won't use it as consistently as Grambling does, but they've got it in their bag.
Less than 10 seconds in between plays there, but the Grambling defense ready. Gain of 1 for Edwards.
In this chess match, what the tempo does now for Southern, you won't see as much movement pre-snap from Grambling because they can't do the check with me, get to the sideline. They have to declare their gap responsibility more immediately.
Backup running back in for the Jaguars. Number 9 is Devon Ben.
They were so caught, ready to go. Offensive linemen know that it's going to happen. We got the shift going, and defense says, oh, we're going to fire off. And as soon as they do, they may call this against the offense, but it looks like it should be offsides on the defense.
You tight ends.
Yeah.
You're shifting.
Offside. Defense 95 with contact. 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
We call it trading those guys, so they're going to move them over. And whenever you do that, sometimes those antsy defensive linemen are ready to go. And they're big guys. They're not dainty guys. They're big guys, and they're ready to go. Ready to get after something.
First down and 10 from the 45. There's some of Anthony's favorite shifting. Couple of tight ends moving from right to left. And Howard again keeps it himself. Second time we've seen that play in the last 3 around the left side. Brought down by Rockwell. But that's a gain of 9.
Guys, remember we heard this. The running game has to be key. And you can see when that defensive end comes in hard, Austin Howard pulls that ball out and he's able to go by.
He's not Devontae Kincaid on the hoof, but he certainly can move.
Now inside of Grambling territory. Penalty markers come in.
He looks like he's fully healthy now as well.
Illegal substitution. Defense number 42. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Just like that, guys.
5-yard penalty results in a first down.
The Southern offense has the Grambling defense on its heels.
Look at Grambling. Pre-snap, they're trying to figure out as Southern trades sides. That shift. Now Grambling trying to re-engage where they're going to line up.
And this drive, they started that and they're throwing their counts off.
Now it's the inside give to Ben, just across the 40-yard line, gain of 1. And Anthony, we've seen Howard keep it on that play twice now on this drive, and maybe knowing very well how aggressive the ends are for Grambling, seeing something they could take advantage of.
We've seen two of the bigger rushing efforts of Howard's career have come in the Bayou Classic, 56 yards a couple of years back, 32 yards last season. So his rushing numbers don't indicate how mobile he actually is.
Ben motions out to his right. There Ben is wide open across the 35-yard line. And down to the 32, near another first down.
This was a really nice job by Austin Howard of holding the defense inside. You're going to see him hold his eyes, see his eyes, and at the last second he goes outside. He knows who his receiver is, which is the running back, Ben, coming out of the backfield. But that holding of the eyes makes that defense stay where they are, and then you get the ball to him and you pick up the first down.
It just delays the pursuit of that fast-flowing Grambling defense and gives the running lane outside for a few extra yards.
Gain of 8 for the first down. More shifting, this time from an offensive tackle. And here comes Ben around that right side. Cuts it back inside the 30 or the 25-yard line. And it's a gain of 6 on first down.
They were really lucky because they almost had two guys moving. they were really lucky here. See,
it was Jeremiah Abbey trading from left to right. And he's the one who seals the edge. That's why they call him the brain trust. Not only physically dominant, but mentally. He's the guy who can handle best some of these trades and shifts we're seeing happen.
The shifting and the pace and some confusion for the Grambling defense while Southern is on the move.
We talked about Austin Howard's capability in this playbook. He knows it, and he's really good at now probably going over to the sideline saying, hey, we need to do some things.
Clock winding down. Herb Edwards now back in the backfield and also with the football, but dropped as soon as he got it there on the 21-yard line. And for Grambling, the tackle made by Christmas.
It's part of why folks are thinking he's likely to be the defensive player of the year in this conference. Not only does he get into the backfield, he's a sideline-to-sideline player.
Closing speed right there. Golly, he was right there.
Brings up first down and 10 from the 21. That's Edwards around the right side, going nowhere. And just as he got back to the line of scrimmage, was pushed out of bounds by Rockwell.
Guys, I think if he had kept that, Austin Howard may have had a little bit more. Look at everybody going down. You see everyone there. Now, you have somebody on the end, but you can think if he holds it just a little longer and then pulls it out, he may have a chance.
It'll be part of the chess match for Austin Howard today because he's a guy who loves to carve the defense up from within the pocket. His mentality is one of a pocket passer. He just happens to be extremely athletic when he keeps it.
Second down 11. Bunch set to his left, 3 wide receivers. And he's looking that way, coming underneath. And down to the 15-yard line goes Kendall Catalon, his second catch of the day. And he's tackled by Dedrick Shy.
You see how that, how that takes some of the starch out of the defense, where because he's used that mobility, now the pass rush isn't getting home. They're not rushing with quite as much ferocity.
We've seen a drag route run since the beginning of time, but it always seems to be open, especially when you run from the boundary sometimes. And that defense has been moved around with the shifts and trades. Now you're able to find the guy right over the middle of the field, pick up some positive yards, third and short, as opposed to third and long.
Third down and 5, you can run it. Got his top running back Edwards to his right, can also keep it himself. It comes underneath. And that's going to be right at the sticks. Catalon once again. And it's going to depend on the mark.
Those are those smaller in stature receivers getting them matched up on safeties. Now you're going to see Catalon, number 10, get almost caught in the wash, but still able to get just enough separation for Austin Howard.
And Catalon got just enough for a first down. And the Southern offense waited till the back half of the first quarter to get rolling. But rolling they are here in the 44th annual Bayou Classic. They turned it over on the first play, and that led to a Devontae Kincaid touchdown right there. We head to the second quarter with Grambling on top by 7.
One time in New Orleans, well, before it was even founded, a French teenager, Bienville, scared away a British warship with just a story. And great stories kept coming. Some make you move to jazz, funk, and bounce. Some of our stories aren't quite as straightforward. While others prove that great things can happen, even on a Monday night. Because for 300 years, great stories have started in the same way. One time in New Orleans.
The Season of Adventure sales event is happening now. Land Rover, above and beyond.
Our mountains challenge us. Push us back. Knock us down. Tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When I was young, I thought I'm a big fish in a small pond.
To be so good at this young age.
Spectacular win! Schifrin looking strong. Schifrin wins gold!
Being the best in the world isn't just a childhood dream anymore.
Nobody's born a household name. Everyone starts off a face in the crowd, waiting for just the right moment to step into the spotlight. So you may not know them yet, but in February, you will. Step into the spotlight. The Winter Olympics on NBC.
It is nice to be inside the Superdome, but beautiful afternoon here in New Orleans outside. Grambling on top early 7-0 as we are set to start the second quarter, which is presented by Army.
This is one of the communities that always gets behind the military service, men and women. And they show up in droves for the Bayou Classic. You were here in New Orleans for a number of years.
Yeah, they love football. I mean, they want to see you play, and they're excited to come to the Bayou Classic.
Good time to be a football fan in New Orleans with the Saints on a 8-game winning streak. They'll be back here next week. This drive, 69 yards, led by Austin Howard. Keeps it himself down to the 7-yard line. Remember, the first two possessions led to 1 interception and 0 yards. Austin Howard has cleaned it up on this drive. He's 4 out of 4 for 26 yards. Well, Dawson Odom saw Devontae Kincaid dive into the end zone, into this end zone early in the first. See what he dials up here on 2nd and 7. Howard down to the 7 again, back just across the line of scrimmage. And that'll bring up 3rd down.
Paul, you bring up a great point as well. Inside the red zone, smaller receivers may hurt you. They also use a tight end in this area, Dylan Beard. He was looking for him initially, had to come off of him because he wasn't open. He becomes your big, tall receiver that you use in this area.
And he's used to attention in this part of the field here, Charles. 13 career touchdowns, including 4 in the last 3 games. He wears number 42. Tigers bring 5, and they get to him. Howard got back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Deontay Hatter making the tackle.
We're seeing less movement pre-snap from Grambling State, now down in the red zone. What that ends up doing is, even though it declares the alignment of the defense, but now in the red zone, like you're talking about, Charles, the space far more condensed. And so from a coverage standpoint, as long as you hit a landmark, it should lead to a tight window for the throw.
And the receivers know where to go, but the defenders also know where you are going because you don't have much room.
25 yards out, Cesar Barajas. And he hooks it to the left. Score remains 7-0.
He was watching me at the driving range the other day. About how a lefty would go.
A lot of good on that drive for the Jaguar offense, but the scoreboard won't show it. Pulls it to the left. Southern remains down by 7 in the 44th Bayou Classic.
One more showdown to rule them all. Be there as the crowd roars in excitement. 10 teams battle it out to become champion. In the end, only one will stand victorious. Are you ready to witness final judgment? The 2017 Toyota SWAC Football Championship. Be a part of the action at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas on December 2nd. Get your tickets now at SWAC.org.
We are proudly born with hair that grows strong as a storm. And strong is beautiful. Pantene Gold Series.
It's official. Black Friday's here. Lease a 2018 Sorento L for $199 a month or get up to $3,000 total cash at Kia's Light Up the Holidays sales event.
Right now at Burger King, get 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and a drink for just $3.49. That's 2 flame-grilled cheeseburgers, fries, and a drink for just $3.49. It's a big deal on an even bigger meal. Only at Burger King.
Where your seafood comes from has everything to do with its flavor, its quality, and even its safety. Cheap imported seafood raised in ponds overseas has nothing on the incredible flavor and quality of the fresh fish, shrimp, crabs, and oysters caught right here in Louisiana waters. We all know that the best dishes are made with the best ingredients, and Louisiana seafood is the best you can buy. So know what you're buying and make sure you're serving delicious Louisiana seafood, because when you know better, you eat better.
The Bayou Classic on NBCSN is brought to you by the U.S. Army team, the team that makes a difference. By the Louisiana Seafood Promotion and Marketing Board. And by the one place that will always be your place, Mickey D's. Battle of the Bands coming up at halftime here between Grambling and Southern. The Grambling side getting all warmed up. And the Grambling team led by a Devontae Kincaid touchdown, leading 7-0. Nice drive by Southern, ending in no points. The 26-yard missed field goal. Southern defense there right away to throw Carter for a loss of 1.
Really good job of just rallying to the football. Contavious Preston, one of the guys there, but they got penetration, and then he comes in real nice right around his D lineman. Linebackers love to have that guy up front to take over, take up everything, and then they can come and clean it up.
Grambling offense didn't take long to find itself this season. 14 points game 1, then 23, then 7 consecutive with 30 or more. But now it's going to be 3rd down and long. Nice play there by Simeon Houston.
Houston listed as a defensive end, but they'll bring him from a 2-point stance on occasion as well. They just kind of got set a little bit late. Wasn't near Devontae Kincaid, but gets up into the throwing window for the pass deflection.
Kincaid flushed out, sets himself, fires downfield. Wow. What a throw to Daryl Clark. Just a bullet for the 1st down.
And the presence of mind just to move away from the pressure to the right side of your screen, set up and fire a dart down the field. Nice throw.
Gain of 30 yards. Good job with the recognition that Clark was open, and then, as you pointed out, Charles, just a rifle there to get it to him in a hurry. Nice hole for Carter. Another 1st down. down to the 30-yard line, so a gain of 30 through the air, and then Carter for 21 yards on the ground.
And watch the angle blocking of the offensive line. You see them moving the defenders laterally. Martez Carter able to cut it back against the grain. He knows precisely where the hole should declare itself. Footwork sets it up.
And quickly back to the line of scrimmage, and Carter cutting back down to the 21-yard line, gain of 9.
Again, Anthony, you just called it, that line. Now, Martez Carter, watch him get to the side. He's going to stick that foot in the ground. The offensive line blocking, wrapping around. Watch that, boom! And then when you get up inside, your big offensive lineman trying to move away from him, he is hitting the hole with authority.
Second down, less than a yard. Carter dropped in the backfield. He loses one to bring up another third down. He lost 2 then.
Now that time the pull of his left guard, David Moore, he starts to fold. Moore's here into the hole. I think in that situation, maybe Martez Carter, if he's pressing the hole a bit more, every once in a while, just be willing to take a 4-yard gain as opposed to looking to pop that big run.
Well, Kincaid picks up 30 yards to Clark on third down and long moments ago. This is third down and 3. Keeps it himself across the 20-yard line. Good enough for a Tiger first down.
That's an example of exactly what I'm talking about, because Devontae Kincaid, as he keeps it, he could have tried to bounce it outside, do something really fancy, but he knew if I pick up 3 yards, I'm going to move the chains.
Yeah, all you need every time is to get positive yards. You're not going to always hit a home run, but when it's there, these 2 guys in the backfield have that home run capability.
Tigers 2 for 2, converting third downs now on this drive. And that's a completion down to the 10-yard line. Quentin Geis with it. Gain of 10.
Offensive line, guys, has really done a nice job on this drive of protecting and allowing them to go tempo, but there was nobody even close to Kincaid, and when he can sit back and fire that ball. They've had a long line of Grambling quarterbacks that can throw. He's right there with them.
Martez Carter in pass pro as well. When they slide the protection, he's been doing a good job one-on-one.
First and goal. Reverses to his left across his body. Carter, touchdown.
Anthony, I think we jinxed him just a little bit. Right in the middle. Right there. He has the block picked up with Lunkins, but he can't do it. But it doesn't matter. Okay, so when you make a mistake, young people at home, this is how you don't compound it. You go get outside, you go catch the ball, and you score a touchdown.
Second and third reaction plays over and over again is how Devontae Kincaid gives defenses fits.
They're going to probably take a look at this as well.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is under further review.
Now, Anthony, you've been in a lot of defensive coordinators' rooms. I'm sure. What do they say for a guy like Kincaid? What do you have to do on the blackboard?
You do what you can to try to pin him in from the outside in, and they're trying to see whether or not possession of the football is maintained as Martez Carter is reaching it across the inside of this front pylon here. So does that right foot stay in bounds as he lunges, and does he maintain possession of the football? Because if they rule not only the foot being in bounds, but if they rule as he's reaching across that he loses possession as it hits the front pylon, then they can actually rule that a touchback.
Indisputable video evidence is what they always say.
The ruling on the field of a touchdown is confirmed.
Devontae Carter has now accounted for 2 touchdowns, one on the ground, and that passing one right there.
I thought he did an outstanding job of maintaining, staying in bounds, but also Kincaid just was so effective and elusive, which we saw on film.
That's one of those plus-minus plays for Martez Carter. You miss the block initially, then you say, you know what, I know my quarterback's going to keep working for me.
Yeah.
Devontae Kincaid's awareness, his elusiveness on display on that drive. Remember, on third and long, he rolled out to his right, set his feet, picked up 30 yards to Darrell Clark, and then on the touchdown, rolled to his left to find Martez Carter. A little celebration for the Tigers, up 14.
Hey, Dad, I'm running late. Can I get the car keys?
Okay.
Cool, thanks.
Dan, come here a minute.
What's up?
I want to give you these. You don't have to say nothing. Just take them and use them if you need them.
Dad.
No, this is real talk.
Okay. Can I go now?
Get out. Don't be late.
I won't be. Thanks, Dad.
When you up in H-Town looking for some bundles, hit me up pronto, I tell you where to go.
Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair. Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair.
Call 281-382-4936, and we gon' make you a happy chick.
Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair. Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair.
Yeah, look at you want the style you need.
Staying ahead isn't about waiting for a chance. It's about the one bold choice you make that moves you forward. The one and only Cadillac Escalade. Come in for our season's best offers and drive out with the perfect 2017 Cadillac Escalade for you. Get this low mileage lease from around $8.99 per month.
Blossom. And now today, they have decided that they are going
Just
to
look
live
at those
the rest of
two.
their lives.
Happy, in love, and saving so much money on their car insurance by switching to Geico. Well, just look at this setting.
Do you have the ring?
Whoa, Heltzberg Diamonds, another beautiful setting. I'm not crying. I've just got a bit of sand in my eyes, that's all.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Sunday Night Football on NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
Thursday night, a rivalry reignites, and everyone's getting together to watch the fireworks. Redskins, Cowboys on NFL Network and NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
Every rendition of the Bayou Classic is a tribute to the vision and the class of Eddie Robinson. He started the Grambling football program back in 1941, was a head coach for 57 years. 408 wins when he retired, most all-time in college football. His legacy, one of kindness and humility. All of those 408 wins and everything that happens here in the Bayou Classic weekend. He dreamed up this event, loved it every single time, and a lot happens this weekend, but everyone involved pays tribute to all Eddie Robinson meant, not only to Grambling, but to the entire Bayou Classic weekend.
Coach Rob did so many things as an innovator with uniforms, with tempo, offensively, things that are still modeled by other schools today.
Jamar Washington across the 20. A little speed there out to the 32-yard line. For more on the Eddie Robinson story here in New Orleans, here's Lewis Johnson.
Yeah, Paul, here with a gentleman who carries his namesake, Eddie Robinson III, his grandson. And so you were standing here with me looking at those photos. What comes to mind as you see that, and then, of course, stand here and watch this game that he created so many years ago?
I tell you, the Bayou Classic has become a real tradition for a lot of folks here. It started in 1974, and this is the 44th annual. So it's a Thanksgiving weekend tradition. I grew up knowing that, hey, the Bayou Classic comes after Thanksgiving. And, you know, the Robinson family, I mean, we just want to continue supporting the Bayou Classic. And, you know, the family, we're all here and we're enjoying it.
You told me that you recently moved back to Grambling, Louisiana there. You were taking care of your grandmother, who has now passed on. But what else, what was the other reasoning behind being back close to this program again?
I mean, obviously, when you come back to Grambling, you got to be a part of Grambling football, Lewis. So, you know, when Roger Fobbs took the helm in 2013, right. I couldn't do nothing but get behind him and support him. And, I mean, he's brought this program back to higher heights. And I think he's a visionary as a coach. And I think he's going to just continue to build this program. And I tell everybody, and I don't use this loosely, he's a clone of Eddie Robinson.
He is a clone of Eddie Robinson?
Yes.
And why is that?
I mean, his father played for my grandfather as well, and he got it from his father. But also, he got it from playing for Coach Eddie Robinson. So, I mean, when you look at Broderick and what he has done with this program, I mean, to me, he's a clone of my grandfather.
Awesome. We want you to know his name will never be forgotten. So much.
All right. Thank you, Lewis.
All righty. Paul?
Guys, thank you very much. Big time completion there from Austin Howard to Jamar Washington on third down. Looks to be just enough for the Jaguar first down.
Paul, he talked about being an innovator and everything else. I agree. I got a letter from when I was getting recruited out of Houston, Texas, from Grambling. I kept that thing forever because it was Eddie Robinson on it. That's the one. You know, you grow up as a kid in Houston watching SWAC football, and getting an opportunity to get a letter from Eddie Robinson was a big deal.
Said it once, I'll say it again because it's so incredible. He was the head coach for 57 years. All kinds of success. And he talked about Broderick Fobbs. He was a running back here for him from 92 to 96. That's a gain of 3.
The Southern team on offense has to get something generated. They almost got points the last time they were in the red zone. They have to come away with some points as the second quarter moves along.
That last drive, 16 plays, 72 yards. Took almost 8 minutes off the clock with the missed field goal. You see the 0 there. They still trail 14-0. Howard to his right and a big hit. Good job hanging on by Jamar Washington, his second catch on this drive. That's Jatarius Pouncey. He had the interception on the first play.
That's when you go back to the huddle and you say, okay, get it to me a little quicker so I can avoid it, but almost able to stay up. That was a huge hit by Pouncey, but Jamar Washington was able to take that hit and absorb it and almost still get some yards.
And on a 5'7" receiver, you got to credit Pouncey for actually hitting in the proper target area as well. We've seen targeting become so prevalent around college football. That was a great textbook target spot on the tackle. Didn't wrap up, but he didn't pick up a penalty either.
Brings up 3rd down and 6. Here comes the blitz. Howard stands in and delivers. There's the tight end you mentioned a little bit ago, Charles. Dylan Beard inside of Grambling territory. 1st down.
You know, the big receiver and a smaller lineman able to come across the field on a drag, and you see he's able to leave his defender. They're playing inside that man coverage. He's able to cross the field, catch the ball, and pick up some positive yards.
Previous snap zone coverage, their man coverage. Southern makes them pay.
And the backup tailback with it. Nice cut to pick up 9 yards. That's Devon Ben. Been a good supplement to the starter, Herb Edwards.
Talked about having that cut ability. He's able to find a hole, get it quickly. They have to continue to keep the run game going to help Austin Howard.
Continuing to move at an awfully quick pace. Eludes the tackler in the backfield out across the 20-yard line. Devon Ben not looking like a backup, performing like a starter to pick up that 1st down.
And he was the starter as the season opened up. Suffered a knee injury. That surgery, had to leave the lineup for a little while. That opened the door for Herb Edwards to take over as the running back and some of the yardage he's put up. But this is why, after moving from wide receiver, Devon Ben can still make plays like this.
Another 1st down. Now it's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. A movement there by the Tiger D. And the penalty marker comes in. Turned out to be a free play.
Offside, defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
You almost want a BOGO, buy one, get one free. If you're going to have a free play, go to the house, take it to the end zone.
Good hard count there by Howard.
It's part of why you tend to coach defensive linemen, that if you jump, you know you're picking up a flag. You may as well penetrate. You may as well keep going just to make sure they blow the play dead so you don't give up a free opportunity.
Just inside the 10-yard line. Tackle made by Malcolm Williams.
And to your point earlier, while Austin Howard was out, those are some of the plays now you're starting to see the rush break off in the run game. That was another one where he's still feeling himself out to see, okay, do I need to hold it or let it go? That time Ben was hit as soon as he hit the line of scrimmage.
Had success 2 times in the 1st quarter. Big gains on the ground when he kept it himself. Went around the end. Empty backfield now. Penalty flag thrown. And the completion down to the 6-yard line. Check in on the flag. That was Dennis Craig with the reception for the Jaguars.
There's been a lot of high yellow in the air with all these flags in the 1st half.
Offside, defense, number 42. 5-yard penalty is on to the 1st down.
Second offsides called against Grambling on this drive.
And we see the variation in tempo coming back into the fold for Southern's offense. That's been part of why the prowling, that pre-snap movement, the stem of Grambling's defense. Still been effective at times, but not as consistently as it was earlier in the first quarter.
See that stare from Broderick Fobbs to Markale Jackson after giving Southern that free 5 yards. First and goal. Pitch to Ben. Brought down at the 3. Gain of 2.
Defensive penetration again. Ben looked like initially he was going to have somewhere to run, and talk about alley guys. Usually the safety has to be a mean guy. He has to run that alley and come and bring something.
What a difference a touchdown would mean for Southern, cutting that lead in half inside of 5 minutes now until halftime.
Be nice to see a tight end throwback in this area.
How about play action? Inside the 1-yard line. That's a gain of 2. Great job, Dennis Craig, hanging on to that.
And this has some similar principle too, Sergeant Charles, where you're allowing the defense to flow in one direction off of play action and then utilizing your tight end to work against that, but reaction was on time for Grambling.
Pouncey did a nice job of coming up, hitting a much bigger guy. You got to catch that ball and turn quickly. You're always taught as a tight end, turn that shoulder. You're going to know you're going to get hit, but you got to get low and use your body to just run them over.
3rd and goal. We'll see if Howard keeps it himself. His tailback is Devon Ben. This is Ben, and that's a touchdown.
A huge answer for the Jaguars. A lot of it leaned on the offensive line. They went with their big personnel down here, not just in the red zone, all the way inside the 10, put extra bodies, tight ends on the field, get physical with that Grambling defensive front.
And they put Aaron Tiller up there so he could be the fullback, and he went in and just, you could tell he was looking to hit somebody.
Ben with his 4th touchdown this season. Cesar Barajas, after he missed a field goal from 25 yards out earlier, up and in for the extra point. 12 plays, 67 yards, and this impressive drive for Southern does end in the end zone thanks to Devon Ben. But Devontae Kincaid has a rushing touchdown and a passing touchdown for Grambling. Ben responds. The Southern offense waking up. We've got a game here at the 44th Bayou Classic.
Listen up, it's love, peace, and soul time.
We got all you need with a weekend full of music. That kicks off with a special Soul Train edition of Lip Sync Battle.
Tank, Lonnie Love.
My Soul Train, this is for the culture.
Keisha Cole and Macy Gray battle it out to see who becomes the Lip Sync Battle champion. Followed by Tails, baby.
Your favorite hip-hop songs reimagined.
You don't want to miss the legendary Soul Train Music Awards, where the best in R&B come to shine. Hosted by the amazingly talented Erykah Badu.
It's a Love, Peace, and Soul weekend. Check your local listings.
3 centuries of history. 6 blocks of shopping. Open 7 days a week. Come down and see why it's always festival season at the French Market.
This is our workshop. And this is our tradition. These are our lights. And this is our season of performance. Take advantage of some of the best offers of the year at the Acura Season of Performance event going on now.
It's the 2017 Acura MDX Super Handling all-wheel drive for $499 a month for well-qualified customers. Don't miss this event going on now.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
news for Premier League mornings tomorrow on NBCSN.
Southern band warming up for the Battle of the Bands coming up at halftime. The Southern offense just went 12 plays and 67 yards.
Defensive lineman's dream right here, because you see the guard and tackle, they're going to block down. And then the all-conference defensive lineman, Aaron Tiller, in at fullback. We're going to see Devon Ben. He's going to end up bouncing it outside off the block. So there with all the force at the point of attack behind Skylar Prohl, Jodeci Harris. They get enough movement at the point of attack. That allows the running lane for Ben to turn the corner.
Ben right now 9 carries, 29 yards, and that 1 touchdown.
Biggest thing, Percy Cargo gets caught up in all that bigness. I mean, it's like 4 guys. He's trying to see around him. Ben comes and is able to just run right through him. The running game a little bit more effectively with Herb Edwards out.
They don't want to kick it to Martez Carter. Took one to the house last year in this game. Grambling offense will begin on its own 27-yard line. That was return of 7. The highlight of halftime is coming up. You can watch it right here. The Battle of the Bands will also have highlights and scores from around the nation. First half analysis between Grambling and Southern, but the Battle of the Bands, it's listed first for a reason. They're coming down to the field. That is the highlight. Grambling band is just, they're going through the pregame thoughts.
They're getting ready. The game face on.
All coming up here. 3:35 left until halftime. And Carter scooting his way across the 40-yard line. First down, Grambling, a gain of 12.
They're really attacking that guard center area now. You see the blocking there by the big center. He comes off combo almost to a sense, and they're able to just really get behind that and let Carter pick where he wants to go.
Carter now 9 carries, 50 yards. That carry good for 1. Let's check in on the sideline with Lewis Johnson.
All right, you mentioned the Battle of the Bands coming up. I've got the man who will lead the Grambling State Tigers up, Jaqueline Keel. So, Jaqueline, you're a senior. This is the last time you'll have the chance. Give us a sense of what the last 10 days have been like to get ready for this.
The last 10 days, they've been crazy, but the band, we're excited. I mean, the energy is here, and we're definitely ready to put it down on the field, get these bragging rights, show off, put Grambling on the map, continue the legacy.
So as we watch the football teams go at it, I mean, when you talk about bragging rights, you're talking about the same level as the football team. Can you explain that?
Yes, sir. The football team and the band, we both are both 2 different unions, but we just like family, and both of us are here. We're both here to do the same thing. The Battle of the Bands was crazy. Football game is crazy. Last thing we got to do is put the stamp on the halftime, and that's it.
All right, there you go. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hey, I think they're ready, huh?
You got to save some of that energy.
Yeah, he's ready to go. Let's go. Let's go.
He's past the warmed-up phase. 3rd down and 9. And that's a strike from Kincaid to his top receiver, Darrell Clark, inside his Southern territory. Gain of 17.
Kincaid did a nice job of letting this play develop, too. He saw the linebacker moving over, and then he's just able to throw it right behind him.
And they haven't blocked Aaron Tiller yet. Regardless of where they put him, left in, right in, over the nose, he hasn't been blocked. But because Kincaid, he can stand and deliver under pressure, still able to move the chains.
You hear analysts talk about a quarterback cutting it loose. Well, when he decides to throw it, that is a fastball. 1st down and 10 from the 42. With play action, comes underneath with the touch. Clark again tripped up by his own teammate just before he got to the 35.
Oh, you bring up an excellent point. He's an Elite 11 guy, finalist. I mean, this kid can throw the football. And I think that's the one thing you see with his escapability. And now what's starting to happen in the league, he may be a little bit shorter in stature, but he has a live arm.
Clark now has 5 receptions. Inside of 2 minutes now until halftime. Here comes the blitz. Kincaid keeps it. And that's a 1st down, Grambling down to the 19-yard line. Gain of 17. Devon Lindsay with that reception.
Well, Kincaid saw Calvin Lunkins come. Even though the pressure actually didn't leak into the backfield, he still worked opposite the pressure, then found the throwing window. Another very accurate pass on the move.
Kincaid actually ended his final season at Ole Miss right here at the Sugar Bowl to start out 2016 before he transferred to Grambling. Comes underneath. This is Clark again. Resets down to the 10-yard line. Gain of 8.
played with Marshall Faulk, and he could really do that. I'm not comparing Carter to what Marshall could do, but Marshall would stop on a dime, and then you would fly by him. He has done that multiple times today and really just given the defensive secondary fits.
And in that Marshall Faulk mold, he's shown that all-purpose ability throughout his career. Kick returner, receiver out of the backfield, runner, blocker. He's doing it all for Grambling.
The Southern pass rush failing to make Kincaid feel uncomfortable so far. Carter just across the 10-yard line, right at the first down marker.
And you bring up a good point, Paul. They're not allowing Southern to substitute, so those linemen, other than Tiller, look like they are hands on the hip and a little bit tired. Tiller is still coming, but his gang is not with him when he's there.
And every time they do get to him in the pocket, he's been able to successfully evade that pressure to the right and the left. Plenty of time here. Penalty marker comes in. Little juke move into the end zone. Wow. The quickness to get in, but we do have the penalty marker on the 15-yard line.
We don't have phone booths anymore, so I like to say kitchen pantries. If you get him in the kitchen pantry, he is going to make you try to get all the food you can, and he's going to not allow you to get it.
Personal foul, hands to the face, 78 on the offense, 15-yard penalty, still be third down.
Ouch.
That's on Trent Scott, one of the best tackles in the SWAC. The offensive line, he's second-team All-SWAC from last season. He's in line to be SWAC again, but at the left tackle position, it's one of the ways he improved earlier. They called it on Scott, but I can't imagine that was actually who the flag should have been thrown on. Perhaps the official called a different number than what was intended.
Yeah, that was a huge play because the defender falls down and he's just taking him to the ground.
Would have been 20-7. Now they're backed up to the 25-yard line.
Southern has called their first timeout.
With only 13 seconds left. Getting close to halftime. Tigers enjoying a 7-point lead.
Hey, are you taking the tissue test?
Yep, and my teeth are yellow. I mean, I knew they weren't perfect, but
Oh well, all hope is lost.
clearly my whitening toothpaste is not cutting it.
Time for white strips.
Crest Glamorous White Strips are the only ADA-accepted whitening strips proven to be safe and effective. They work below the enamel surface to whiten 25 times better than a leading whitening toothpaste.
Hey, nice smile.
Thanks. I crushed the tissue test.
Yeah, you did.
Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
Are you ready to discover Southern University? SU is the only historically black college system in the nation. Discover innovation with 32 undergraduate and 23 graduate programs to choose from. Discover excellence with the world-class education provided by highly esteemed faculty and staff. Discover culture. Whether you're cheering the Jags to victory, enjoying the human jukebox, SU has that unique Louisiana culture. So, what are you waiting for?
Discover.
Discover you at SU.
Back live at the Bayou Classic. Battle of the Bands coming up in just a moment. We talked to one side, now we've got to hear from Southern. Trayvon Sr.'s a sophomore. First time you'll lead the band out as a drum major. What's a moment like this like, just before you go out?
It's a major moment. It's a moment that I've been looking forward to since I was a little kid, so I'm ready.
You're ready?
Oh, yes, sir.
And so are we. Good luck out there.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Ready to go.
Man, I'm telling you. Those bands, man, when
That's
they're
the
ready
brass.
to go. Yeah,
That's the brass. I was a trombone player. That was coming up. So I know all about that brass section.
I wanted to be in the drum line,
but
I didn't play anything. I did not play. But I sure think I can in the car.
Look forward to watching Battle of the Bands coming up here along with everyone else at home. 13 seconds left now. 3rd down and 16. Kincaid evading pressure again, fires to his left. Boy, excellent chance for an interception for that Southern defense. Demario Houston coulda, shoulda had that one.
You want that one back. Demario Houston had an opportunity to kill this half, catch that ball and put it away and not give Grambling any opportunities. His dad, Steve, played with Coach Odom in high school. They both went to Shelby Crest. Demarius Houston went to Shelby High School.
Mark Orozco now from 42 yards out. He's 4 out of 6 in between 40 and 49 yards this year. And that one is true. He's now 5 out of 7 from that range. The clocks go to zeros here. And Grambling will take a 10-point lead into the halftime locker room.
A missed opportunity to take points off the board by Southern. I think back to the touchdown from a couple of snaps ago that was taken off by penalty.
Devontae Kincaid, 130 yards passing. And also a rushing touchdown. Roderick Fobbs is with our Lewis Johnson.
Well, Coach, this game started with a defensive interception. Your thoughts on the way the defense played early on to set the tone?
Well, I thought we started out rather fast. I thought we did a really good job of stopping the run and getting on and off the field. We kind of ran into a lull right there and created some mistakes and gave them opportunities, and they took advantage of it and got down and scored on us.
All right, so what are the most important keys if you're going to get yourself to the SWAC title game?
Well, we got to start out fast the second half. I mean, this is a hell of a football team, and they play well for 4 quarters. So this first possession is huge for us, and then we got to finish the game the way we always know how.
Thanks so much.
All right. Paul?
Southern fires an interception on the first play of the game. They respond pretty well. Grambling leads 17-7 at halftime. The Bayou Classic halftime will be presented by P&G Crest. Bayou Classic halftime show presented by P&G's Crest 3D white toothpaste. A smile so bright you will never be overlooked. 2 quarters in the books for the 44th Bayou Classic, and the Tigers lead the Jaguars by 10.
Welcome to the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report.
And hi again, everyone. Jimmy Roberts here in our NBC Sports studios. Coming up, we'll get you caught up on all of the key games in college football today, including the Iron Bowl and the national title implications. But first, it's the Battle of the Bands. So let's head back now to New Orleans. Southern University is up first.
New Orleans, Louisiana. Are you ready for the preeminence, the greatest of all times, the Southern University Marching Band from Jaguar Land? The Southern University Marching Band is led by drum major Trayvon the Don Caesar from Lake Charles, Louisiana. Show him some love. The human jukebox will now take you through a series of high-step and precision drills under the sounds of In the Stone. Ladies and gentlemen, the Southern University Marching Band would like to bring you to Procter & Gamble for its sponsorship for today's halftime show. Put your hands together for Procter & Gamble. Ladies and gentlemen, the human jukebox would like to salute Tony Clayton, Southern University board member, for its $1.6 million endowment to the Southern University system. Tony Clayton, this one is for you. Ladies and gentlemen, the stars of today's halftime show, the Southern University Marching Band from Jaguars. Ladies and gentlemen, you're being entertained by the band, rated #1 in the nation by USA Today. Now put your hand together for the fabulous dancing dolls. If they dazzle you with style and grace, the tune is called Shell Shock. And now moving that drill to the 60 steps per minute. One of the many reasons why when you say Southern University Marching Band, it means showtime. It is the S on their chest that lets you know that they're the best. The Southern University Marching Band is simply America's finest. So sit back, relax, for you're about to experience the most exciting time of your life. As the stimulating, the dazzling, the house rocker, the rock of all houses as the crowd pleaser takes you on a ride. The human jukebox will now get down to let's go, jukebox. It's time to turn up. That juke don't, that's no more. All we do is jig. All we do is jig. All we do is clap, clap.
They call them the Human Jukebox. The Southern University Band, Grambling State, is next, and we'll be back and hear from them after the break. Don't go away.
Staying ahead isn't about waiting for a chance. It's about the one bold choice you make that moves you forward. The one and only Cadillac Escalade. Come in for our season's best offers and drive out with the perfect 2017 Cadillac Escalade for you. Get this low mileage lease from around $8.99 per month.
3 centuries of history. 6 blocks of shopping. Open 7 days a week. Come down and see why it's always festival season at the French Market.
Master 3-Day Stubble with the new Philips Norelco Star Wars shader. '72 self-sharpening V-shaped blades cut 3-day stubble without pulling or tugging. A close, comfortable electric shave from Philips Norelco, unbeatable across the galaxy. Innovation in you, Philips Norelco, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, in theaters December 15.
Here's to those who carry the light, who inspire the best in us all, moving forward as one, respecting the strengths in themselves and in others. Together, we can shine. Together, we can light up the world.
And welcome back to New Orleans, a city that's all about the music and, of course, the food. Halftime of the 44th Bayou Classic. We've already heard the Southern University Band. Now it's Grambling State's turn. Back inside the Superdome we go.
Like we always do about this time, New Orleans, Louisiana. Today is the day. So laissez-les bon temps rouler. Okay. Take a look at GSU's terrific tandem, better known as that duo. Cornelius came to get Crunk Ewing, and Jaqueline, keep your cool keel. Drum majors, hit him with a little bit of that G-Funk, baby. It is the most sensational, inspirational, devastatingly dynamic marching music machine known to man. Small children point and proclaim with glee, "Mama, there goes that band." In France, they say, "Le monde célèbre." In Spain, "El mundo famoso." But all around the globe, they know our name. We are the As the band meticulously maneuvers the complex cohesion of its pinpoint precision drill, we give you the sounds of Cheryl Lynn. To be real. Under the direction of Mrs. Diane Maroney Grigsby and Teacher Smiley Lincoln, we present the grace, beauty, and elegance that is the Orchesis Dance Company, giving you the pleasure principle.
is the world-famed Tiger Marching Band. After the break, scores and highlights from a busy and eventful day in college football. We'll be right back.
White toothpaste. A smile so bright you will never be overlooked. Third quarter about to get underway here at the Superdome. Right now, Grambling on top. 17-7. The winner goes to next week's conference title game. Paul Burmeister, Charles Arbuckle, and Anthony Herron. You just saw the scoreboard, Anthony. What do the Jaguars have to do to erase that 10-point deficit?
Well, the word finish really comes to mind for me. You think of a couple of opportunities. Missed field goal by Barajas. Missed interception right there at the end of the first half. So points that could be on the board for them and taken off the board for the opponent.
Yeah, I also think, too, special teams has to play a role for Southern. And whenever you get behind in games like this and you're trying to make it go, you have to make sure you're able to get things going.
Dawson Odoms, his Jaguars have a 6-game win streak heading into this game. On the other side, Broderick Fobbs a little bit better off. The Tigers have won 9 straight. And as I just mentioned, it's not just the bragging rights on the line here for the 44th Bayou Classic. It's a spot against Alcorn State in Houston next week for the SWAC conference title game. Grambling won the toss before the game. They deferred, so they get it right back. And we'll see if they can start the game as well as their defense did as they picked off the very first Austin Howard pass, the first offensive play of the game, and turned it into points. And Martez Carter, the top running back for the Tigers, gets out just across the 30-yard line. Devontae Kincaid, pretty good first half, guys. 11 out of 17, and also some nice moves on the ground.
Able to throw the football effectively, and his receivers making plays after. Darrell Clark there, and then Kincaid scoring, laying on Tiller. And then this play was nice. He was able to evade the rush, find his receiver, Martez Carter, for 6.
Yeah, a lot of those highlights, Anthony, come courtesy of the elusiveness of Kincaid moving to his right and his left to throw and also to run.
Second and third reaction, and quite often some quarterbacks who don't stay within themselves can end up leading to turnovers and mistakes when they go beyond the script.
Martez Carter, leading running back, with 65 yards rushing and not going to get back to the line of scrimmage that time. In fact, he loses 2 yards, tackled by Bryant.
And the point we were just making, that's what I believe makes Devontae Kincaid so special, because he extends the play, he goes off script, but he still, while doing that, protects the football. You know, a lot of times if it doesn't end up being a complete pass, it's at worst an incomplete. He doesn't throw many interceptions or fumble.
In fact, 2 years as a starter, Anthony, 49 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions. And this year, since week 1, 19 TDs to only 2 picks. And wisely just fires that one away.
You know, I saw Russell Wilson a lot in college in his career, and Kincaid has some of that ability. And that's the one thing Russell Wilson would do. He would get rid of the football. He didn't lose the ball a lot. There's only 4 fumbles lost for Grambling, which is 7th in the nation. And a guy that's doing RPOs and different things, you would expect a little bit more frequency of fumbles.
And the team excelling in that area right now, plus 20 for the season with the 1 interception and no turnovers for the offense.
I mean, led the entire country in that category for the vast majority of the season. Astounding numbers.
3rd down and 12. Only 3 Jaguars rushed, leaving plenty of time. But that falls incomplete. He was looking for Lindsey, had a chance to catch it, but the Southern defense comes through.
And I thought he had Kobe Ross, who was open early on a dig route. He tries to go to a better defended guy by Demario Houston. Had Kobe Ross across the middle. Demario Houston does a nice job of pass breakup there.
And Houston getting his hand in there late to knock that one out. And Danny Johnson, the star cornerback for Southern, back deep to receive. And Johnson up to the 39-yard line.
Well, back to the first half we saw from Southern, especially on the offensive side of the football. Austin Howard started off on a very low note. He threw that interception to Jatarius Pouncey. From there, he really seemed to settle in the half. Ended up 11 out of 17. Had a big completion. He had to Dylan Beard to move the chains. Utilized his legs, though, especially just in moving the chains enough. That set up this opportunity for Devon Ben to get the first and only touchdown so far on the board for the Jaguars.
You see number 21, the top tailback for the Jaguars, Herbert Edwards to the right. We didn't see him a lot there at the end of the first half. In fact, he only had 4 carries for 5 yards, while Devon Bent carried it 9 times. Get him here on the swing pass, a little patience out of the backfield to the 47-yard line. And a positive start for the Jaguar offense, picking up 7.
Paul, you bring up a good point. That's the one thing they said about Herb Edwards, patience and vision. He gets his hand on his big offensive lineman there, Jeremiah Abbey, and says, okay, big man, let me follow you. Let me follow you to the promised land.
16th catch of the year. Bursts up the middle for a first down. Excellent job by the Jaguar offensive line as Edwards goes out to the 40 and picks up 13.
Abbey pulled out in space a moment ago. There, the zone blocking just showed the left feet of the offensive line all moving in unison. Edwards cutting back against the grain.
Edwards 2 plays, 20 total yards here to start out the third quarter. Howard keeps it himself, stands in and fires. The old back shoulder fade can't be thrown any better than that. Cameron McKay hauls it in. First down, Jaguars, gain of 27.
Dawson Odoms is not shy about saying this is the best passing quarterback in the SWAC, bar none. Great example of why right there. Knew the entire way based off the leverage of the defender. Wanted to go back shoulder. Receiver, outstanding job reaching back to snatch it from the sky.
So Austin Howard had his first pass intercepted today. He's come back. He's now 11 of his last 13. And now over 100 yards. First down and 10 from the 13. Little rollout to his right. 2 penalty markers come in. Throwing to an offensive lineman. Jeremiah Abbey.
This play didn't start off very well at all. And
finished even worse.
Formation. 5 men in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still be first.
I feel like I was Captain Obvious with that statement, but it was so true. Jeremiah Abbey declared himself as eligible. He's on the end line there. And then he goes out and sneaks out, and you can see it was just mass discombobulation on this play. And big man, you got to get on the ball just to make sure it's down.
And the initial alignment of the tackle has to break the hip bone of that guard on the interior. So Abbey, anticipating the screen, was lined up too far back.
Mass discombobulation leads to the first penalty for Southern, and the Tiger defense in the backfield there to greet Edwards at the 20-yard line. Staying home, Darius Christmas, the leading tackler for the Tigers.
And Anthony, you bring up a good point. He's always there, but he was even more so, and now he was able to cut the defender on the edge that time, and that's why they were able to pick up some yards. But Christmas is always around the football.
He's on the Buck Buchanan watch list for Defensive Player of the Year at the FCS level for a reason.
Leads the team coming in 72 tackles. Next best was Jatarius Pouncey, all the way down at 44. And Howard fires incomplete, and now it'll bring up 3rd down and 17.
Negative plays, you have to find a way to get some positive yards, and after that first down they weren't able to generate anything more. That was a real key point, to not turn the ball over, be aggressive, try to get yourself in position where you can score a touchdown or kick a field goal.
And keep in mind, this may be 4-down territory because we haven't seen Barajas kicking the ball cleanly from pre-game all the way through the game here with the missed field goal in the first half.
That missed field goal came from inside of 30 yards as well. See if they can get back a little here on 3rd down and 17. Look into the end zone, and that's going to fall incomplete. Looking for the double move to Jamar Washington, and it wasn't even close.
Holiday celebration in the backfield again. There's Christmas. See him working off Devon Ben. Ben has done a pretty sound job in protection throughout the day, but that double clutch on the double move allowed the extra beat for Christmas to get home.
Was he looking for ornaments back there, or he just looking for a sack?
Not the glass kind. You know, you don't want to look for the glass ornaments. You break people in half.
Oh, I'm sure he can tell you all of them.
37 yards away, Barajas. See if he can go 1 for 2 today, and that's blocked. Someone up here earlier said special teams going to have to step up and make a play, and that time it was Grambling.
Well, we talked about it at the break and coming back. You have to make plays, and that looks like Jatarius Pouncey, who has been all over the field. He just missed. That edge guy misses him completely. He whiffs, and that's why he's able to get that block.
Pouncey with an interception to start the game in the first quarter, and a key blocked field goal right there. His Tigers lead by 10.
In H-Town looking for some bundles. Hit me up pronto, I tell you where to go.
Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair. Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair.
Call 281-382-4936 and we gon' make you a happy chick.
Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair. Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair.
Yeah, man. Look at you want the style you need.
Walking like a man, hitting like a hammer, she's a juvenile scam. Never was a quitter, tasted like a raindrop. She's got the look. Heavenly bound, cause heaven's got a number when she's spinning me around. Kissing is a color, her loving is a wild dog. She's got the look. She's got the look.
She's got the look.
She's got the look.
She's got the look.
And I go la
The all-new 2018 Camry. Toyota. Let's go places.
Every morning, I thought I had to make a choice. Do I use a toothpaste that whitens my teeth or one that's good for my teeth? Now I don't have to choose. My dentist told me about new Crest whitening therapy, so I tried it.
From Crest 3D White comes new whitening therapy. It's our best whitening technology. Plus, it has a fortifying formula to protect your enamel.
Now I get a whiter smile and healthy teeth all in one.
The 3D White collection from Crest. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
One time in New Orleans, well, before it was even founded, a French teenager, Bienville, scared away a British warship with just a story. And great stories kept coming, like when the military came and built the boats to win the war. Some are tales told around crowded tables, and others are performances fit for the stage. Because for 300 years, great stories have started in the same way. One time in New Orleans.
The Bayou Classic on NBCSN is brought to you by Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life. By the Louisiana Seafood Promotion and Marketing Board. And by the U.S. Army team, the team that makes a difference.
So let's go back to that last missed field goal there. See Jatarius Pouncey right there coming off the edge. Jerron Johnson's the tight end. He's got to get a double bump. Left hand on the inside, right hand on the outside. Gets absolutely nothing on Pouncey coming off the edge. That creates a short corner for the field goal block.
See if the Grambling offense can get it going now. Inside of 12 minutes left in the third quarter. And Kincaid with the give and the extra fight for Martez Carter.
Contavious Preston with a whiff. I mean, he completely misses Carter. Watch 55 White coming in. Clean shot. Boom. I'm gone. And that's what you have to do. You have to size a guy up. That's the toughest thing on a guy that has that ability.
That initial make you miss right at the line of scrimmage, leading to that whiff, allowed him to gain 9 yards. 3 wide receivers to the right of Kincaid, and that's where Carter moves as well. Carter now 14 carries for 54 yards, the leading rusher in this game. Kincaid keeps it himself, easily a first down, and just across the midfield stripe to the 49, picks up 11 yards.
It's the proper read. So many defenders, especially on the inside, end up going with Martez Carter. And that cutback lane is available to Devontae Kincaid because DeAndre Sims got up to the second level and got just enough of a piece of the linebacker to give him the alley.
And Anthony Preston is saying, okay, will somebody stop juking me right now? And that's a tough place for a linebacker at his size. He's made a lot of plays. He's also playing with a torn labrum.
Come out on the field. We're going to get a new set of chains.
On his left shoulder, which he'll have repaired at the end of this season.
Getting a new set of chains, Paul.
You know what a new set of chains means?
Sound of the chain gang.
Time for a little break. Third quarter, 44th Bayou Classic. Tigers lead by 10.
Where your seafood comes from has everything to do with its flavor, its quality, and even its safety. Cheap imported seafood raised in ponds overseas has nothing on the incredible flavor and quality of the fresh fish, shrimp, crabs, and oysters caught right here in Louisiana waters. We all know that the best dishes are made with the best ingredients, and Louisiana seafood is the best you can buy. So know what you're buying and make sure you're serving delicious Louisiana seafood. Because when you know better, you eat better.
It's time to find out who the real contenders are. Packers, Steelers, only on NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
Redskins, Cowboys on NFL Network and NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
At its core, it's a test of fitness, will, and strength. And only the gritty, the resilient, and the passionate will overcome. This is more than a race. This is the Spartan Race. Sunday, December 24th on NBC.
Wherever you are watching us across the United States, we appreciate your company.
He scores! Alexander Lacazette! What a goal by Harry Kane! Pure magic from Romelu Lukaku! What a goal from Manchester City! Salarism, easy as you like for Liverpool.
All rise for Premier League mornings tomorrow on NBCSN.
Pull-ups not an Olympic competition yet, but a reminder in 2018 the world's best athletes compete on the world's biggest stage. The Winter Olympics coming February to the networks of Universal.
Yet? Not an Olympic event yet.
Not yet. I got the guy on the right. What do you think?
He seems very proud of his physique. I agree with you.
I would too. Tough competition.
You wear a tank top to a pull-up competition, you better win.
I like how you threw "yet"
right?
in there, though, for the Olympics. Yeah.
You never know.
Yeah.
Guy on the left, barely. Oh. Get past 10 pull-ups, you're doing something.
Certainly in my world.
First down and 10. Carter up the middle just after he crossed the mid-court stripe. Brought down. And no gain. On the left, man in blue did win.
It's official.
Yeah.
Okay. Underdog.
Just a standard T-shirt. Steps up. Gets it done. You saw the look on his face fighting there at the end. And just enough. Kincaid quickly, and it looked like Clark wasn't quite ready for that one. Bring up 3rd and long.
The type of grit and determination you see at the Bayou Classic. He got that last one.
Anthony, how many could you do?
In my heyday, or as we stand right here?
As we stand here.
Oh, I can knock out at least 10 right now.
There you go. That's good. It's very good.
I mean, my heyday, different story.
At least you had a heyday. 3rd and 10. Grambling offense. Winner of this game moves on to the championship game of the conference next week in Houston against Alcorn State. Kincaid stepping up. Again, eluding pressure until he got just across the 50-yard line. It's as good a job as they've done bringing him down when he escapes. Montavious Gaines.
I haven't called his name a whole lot, but Montavious Gaines comes late. He's the delayed guy. He's almost a spy, and he gets there and tries to go after the football. We knew they would do this. He had receivers, good coverage on the back end. I'll tell you the other thing about this Southern team. Defensive touchdowns, they have 3 on the year, where Grambling have 4. You may have to generate some points from your defense.
What did Trey Oliver tell us before the game? If we're going to spy, we've got to make sure we have the right person in position to do so. It's a great example from the Rover in the Jaguars defense.
Danny Johnson back deep to receive for Southern. Calling for the fair catch at the 15-yard line. Well done by the Southern defense. 34-yard punt. And we'll check out the Jaguar offense on the other side of the break.
Centuries of history. 6 blocks of shopping. open 7 days a week. Come down and see why it's always festival season at the French Market.
One more showdown to rule them all. Be there as the crowd roars in excitement. 10 teams battle it out to become champion. In the end, only one will stand victorious. Are you ready to witness final judgment? The 2017 Toyota SWAC Football Championship. Be a part of the action at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas on December 2nd. Get your tickets now at SWAC.org.
The 2018 Cadillac XT5.
Worship me.
Beauty. Greater than the sum of its parts. Come in for our season's best offers and drive out with the perfect 2018 Cadillac XT5. Get a low-mileage lease on this Cadillac XT5 from around $379 per month.
Me.
I didn't even think I was going that fast.
I know, it's so hard to tell all the way out here, isn't it?
Here's your ticket.
Police reported ahead.
Now it tells us.
Cindy and Mike realized they had a speed problem with their network.
All right, well, let's go. Slowly, like your network.
That's why they switched to Metro PCS. Because they figured out they get 4 lines with unlimited high-speed data for only $100, period. That means no more data caps. Plus, 4 free phones of their choice from great brands. Metro PCS. Wireless figured out.
He scored! Alexander Lacazette! What a goal by Harry Kane! Easy as you like for Liverpool.
All rise for Premier League mornings tomorrow on NBCSN.
Familiar face right there to all the people who know Grambling football. Everson Walls, fantastic NFL career, starting out with the Cowboys after playing in a few Bayous here in the late 70s and early 80s, and there he is with the Dallas Cowboys. That was a while ago. Right now, he's with Lewis Johnson.
Well, what a tremendous football career you've had, Everson. It was really something to hear all the accolades. And you think about being a 4-time Pro Bowler and moving through the professional career. Now you're a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame. How was that? How are the nerves?
Well, you know, it's the furthest I've been. And this is unknown territory for me right now. I'm just going to keep my head down. I kind of wish I didn't even know.
Right.
Because now that's all I'm thinking about.
Sure.
So, you know, I like to just go through life and just live it day by day and not worry about what's going on with all those accolades.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, a lot of people already think I'm in the Hall of Fame. So we'll keep it at that.
But you like it to be official.
Yes.
Many don't know that you only played your senior year in high school and that Coach Eddie Robinson gave you his last scholarship. Can you reflect back to that time?
Yeah, I can. As a matter of fact, I was. You have to know some people,
right.
And I was able to give us some film up there to Coach Robinson. I went through my girlfriend's uncle, who went through the offensive coordinator, who went through the defensive coordinator. Right. Next thing you know, Rob and I are sitting face to face with my mom, trying to talk our way into that last scholarship.
Right. And then getting that and him bringing you along, which then turned into this great career, 57 interceptions. I mean, does it go back to Grambling, everything you've accomplished?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You can go back to Grambling and you can see the difference between myself before I got to Grambling and after I left. To be around Coach Robinson all of my college career, to listen to his stories, to listen to him articulate how important it is to be a young, not just young African-American, but to be a young American. Right. Those are the kind of things that he stressed upon us after and during every practice.
All right, so what's the date? When will you find out if you're going to make it in or not?
I don't want to know, man.
You don't want to know?
Don't you tell me.
I think it's January the 2nd or somewhere in there. Is that right?
That's too soon for me, man.
All right, we wish you the best. All right, good luck getting there.
Appreciate you, Lewis.
All right, appreciate you.
Everson Lewis, thank you very much. And that's the sentiment of so many of the guys waiting to hear if they're going to get in.
Yeah.
Used to work with Terrell Davis and Kurt Warner, and same thing. Those guys didn't want to talk about it every step of the way. They are now in. And going down there is Austin Howard at the 12-yard line.
It's the third sack on the day for Grambling. And this pressure is going to come. And you've got to protect your quarterback, but they're coming with a little bit of delayed pressure. Pouncey again just seems to always show up. That's 3 sacks on the day for Grambling when this offensive line had been only 10 sacks in the last 6 games.
It's a big moment for Malcolm Williams, the guy who played a lot of special teams earlier in his career. Now he's getting more rotation in that front seven on defense for the Tigers.
A big stop there for the Grambling defense because the Southern defense has been stopping the Tiger O, at least to start the second half here. And Martez Carter with a chance. Didn't get a chance to get his hands on that one, but the Tiger offense will start pretty good field position here with 8:08 left in the third quarter.
This feels like, guys, this is a point where Southern's defense may have to be their best offense. You know, they are really stagnant on offense.
In the meantime, the Jaguar defense doing a pretty nice job. We talked about at the top of the broadcast that the Tigers came in as the #1 scoring offense in the SWAC, a little over 32 points per game. They did score in that first drive, started deep in the Jaguar territory, but they've been stalled many times since. This will be a first down and a big gain down to the 30-yard line. Ball did come out. Looks like it came out after he touched the ground. Gain of 23 yards for Kobe Ross.
We saw Danny Johnson a moment ago because they continue to avoid that boundary side, the short side of the field that Danny Johnson from Southern lines up at.
Real quick pace to snap the ball again across the 25-yard line. And the Grambling offense, 2 plays on the move. Lindemi and Brooks, receiver / running back, with that run up the middle. Kincaid, inaccurate, wanted Clark there to bring up 3rd down and 3.
And if you're Southern's defense, this is where you substitute. Get some fresh people in on that defensive front. That speed, that tempo takes it out of your hands.
And Clark with 6 catches in the first half. Has been quiet so far. Easily the best drive of the second half for the Tigers yet. Jaguars bring 5 on 3rd and 3. And finally, they bring down Kincaid. Calvin Lunkins. Loss of 11.
They were able to overload the protection from Grambling State, and Lunkins does just enough to maintain the edge of the defense. As Kincaid starts to escape, you see from scouting, he's a lateral escape guy. Loves to run towards the sideline to evade defenders. Lunkins right on the spot.
Mark Orozco from 52 yards out has not attempted a field goal beyond 50 yards this season. Has the distance, but pulled it. Went wide at the end. Lumpkins, huge play for that Southern defense with that 11-yard sack. Led to that missed field goal.
And it's an interesting thing when you look at it from the standpoint of right here, Anthony.
There's Lunkins. Because they add the other defenders, protection is slid, the running back leaks out of the backfield. There's not the extra blocker, the additional blocker available to try and help Kincaid get the edge.
Lunkins has been there the whole game. Finally, he was finally able to corral Kincaid.
And we'll see if that can kickstart the Jaguar offense. They've been watching their defense shut down the top offense in the conference. Start with the ground game out to the 37-yard line for a gain of 2.
Talked about the key being that defensive front. They've done a really nice job of bottling up Herb Edwards.
The Southern offense started out struggling in the worst way. First play was an interception followed by a punt, but then they started moving the ball. But Anthony, they just haven't been taking advantage of that movement. The special teams hasn't been their friend.
That's where things have failed Southern, but they're only down 10 at this point, so you're still right there in the game. That's part of the message that Dawson Ohms is sending on the sideline. He's captain positive in this situation.
Howard, 13 out of 19, now 14 out of 20, but that's well short of a first down. Stacy Pirro with the reception.
Charles, this to me feels like a point in the game, if they pick up a first down, to go with some sort of misdirection, whether it's a double reverse, whether it's even a regular reverse, because the flow, the swarm of the Grambling speed on defense is getting to the football so frequently. You want to try to work against that offensively.
And they were doing that earlier. They changed some things up, but this Grambling offense seems like it can just tee off on defense can just tee off on Southern's offense right now.
And remember, Howard kept it himself for a couple of big gains in the first quarter, and we haven't seen him involved in the ground game since. Stands in the pocket, throws the perfect pass. It falls incomplete. Stacy Pirro won't have it any easier than that.
Well, the only thing missing at this point is Lemony Snicket, because it's just another self-inflicted wound on a well-thrown ball. Protection holds up. Austin Howard puts it right on the money, and Stacy Pirro off a great route combination. Look at everything separate. Pirro off the patience, hits him right in both hands.
It was a great call offensively, because whenever you have bunch or you have those guys there, the numbers get screwed up. And when they start crossing before the receivers take off, Pirro running free and clear, you have to catch that football.
Some key drops here for Southern, both sides of the ball. Remember late in the first half, the dropped potential interception in the end zone, and the drop by Pirro there to bring out the punt team. This is Martez Carter from his own 15. Nifty run in there to get out to the 25-yard line after the 43-yard punt. Was Southern's most experienced quarterback ever, making his 44th career start. Can't do it any better than he did right there. But it's Grambling football when we come back.
Are proudly born with hair that grows strong as a storm. And strong is beautiful. Pantene Gold Series.
No one knows where it comes from. Why some have it and some don't. It's the fighting spirit. It consumes fear and weakness. It stands ready to fight whatever shape the battle takes. Because as long as there are battles, there will always be Marines.
Dental professionals recommend using an electric toothbrush. In a recently published clinical study, Philips Sonicare Diamond Clean removed up to 82% more plaque than Oral-B 7000. Philips Sonicare. Save when you switch now.
Come to Louisiana and I'll show you some beautiful campgrounds and trails. Trails that lead to some of the best music in the whole world. Played by some of the best musicians in the whole world. Louisiana's calling. And she's using her outside voice! Visit LouisianaTravel.com today and plan our trip. Because around here, you're never far from a good time.
These heroes don't wear capes, but when they wear this suit, they're able to save the day.
Save our rest!
Lightning Bruins on NBCSN.
Sunday Night Football on NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
An incredible episode of SVU with the moment you've got to witness, and Olivia's secret is finally revealed. Mariska Hargitay stars in a new SVU Wednesday on NBC. Charles said she's another proud UCLA alum.
Yeah, she is.
Good day for the Bruins.
Yeah. They got Chip Kelly first, and then Mariska Hargitay.
There you go.
I want to make sure I got the last name right.
Devontae Kincaid, the top-rated passer in the SWAC coming into this game. 12 out of 22, 153. One touchdown, no picks. And Carter off the left side finds a little room, gets a first down out to the 37-yard line. Gain of 13, brought down by Demario Houston.
There was one penalty earlier in the game, but overall, Trent Scott's played really well. It's been a great matchup whenever Aaron Tiller has been lined up at the right defensive end against Grambling's left tackle.
And right back to Carter. Quick moves in the backfield and a leap across the 40-yard line. Fumbled the ball. Southern claims to have it. Yes, they do.
They're going to take a look at this, but when you go airborne like that, you give yourself a chance to get hit up in the air. Ball is out.
That ball came out.
And the interesting thing,
Please reset the game clock to 4:51. 4:51.
and watch Martez Carter, while he's in the air, being hit about 8 feet off the ground by several defenders, then switches the ball from his right hand to his left as he's approaching the ground. And that's the turn of events that this Southern defense has been working for. The ability to take the ball away. And fumbles had been a big problem for Martez Carter over the last 2 seasons. 11 fumbles leading into this year. Last game was the very first fumble he'd had the entire season. So ball security had improved so much for Mr. Excitement before the end of the season.
Ball knocked out by Kyle McGregor and recovered by DeCavian Champion. And the Southern offense in business. First in town from the Grambling 40. Howard can keep it himself, does just that, and dives out to the 34-yard line. Picks up 7 yards.
Remember, we talked to Coach Fobbs, and he was saying our offense sometimes is predicated on how well our defense plays. Well, Southern now has to show that. Good job by Austin Howard. We talked about it earlier. Sometimes use your legs when you need to. He was hurt earlier in the year. He's healthy now. That was a great decision by finding the opening and taking off.
See if Southern can take advantage of the rare Grambling turnover. Only 7 coming in. Easily the lowest in the conference. Good patience there by Edwards as he burst across the 30-yard line down to the 26 to pick up a Jaguar first down.
Remember, I asked Herb Edwards on the call, I said, are you a good dancer? He said, yeah, I can cut a rug. And I say that because most good running backs, when they get in a rhythm, they're able to really find that cut and move, and he showed that right there.
Of course, he says he's a good dancer. You should ask one of his teammates. They would have given you an honest answer. There he goes down to the 20-yard line. Malcolm Williams with the tackle after a gain of 6. So the ground game picking up steam here for the Jaguars.
Seeing the yin and yang of the improvement of Herb Edwards. He's the same call.
Grambling is taking their first timeout.
Dawson
This
Odoms.
will be a 30-second timeout.
Like what he sees here from his offense here recently. Sunday night is football night. Jordy Nelson and the Packers take on Antonio Brown and the Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Mike Tirico, Dan Patrick, your host for Football Night in America, 7 o'clock Eastern. Only on NBC, your home of Super Bowl 52.
It's amazing how Pittsburgh will look like the best team in the National Football League one game, and then the next game will start to look like a team who maybe won't make the playoffs.
Were you looking in my head? Because I was thinking the same thing. And then Green Bay, on the other hand, really trying to do all they can to keep it together. But Pittsburgh, they can look so good one week, and then the next week you don't know what you're going to get.
Well, you got Bruins everywhere. Now starting at quarterback for the Packers.
That's true. That's true.
He would have fit Chip Kelly's system well.
Very well.
See what Josh Rosen thinks. Second down 4. Trio wideouts to the right of Austin Howard. And that's Herb Edwards to his left. And Howard just flings that one away. For a moment, I wondered if he threw it away far enough out of bounds, but had enough on it to bring up 3rd and 4.
Grambling did a much better job on that bunch combination, and it forced Howard into a bad decision. He really has nowhere to go. Pressure coming.
Intentional grounding. There was a receiver in the area.
And there the official is saying intentional grounding was not the call, but he was able to get outside and outside the tackle box, which allowed him to throw that football away.
Also had one of his wide receivers in the area there. So this 3rd down, we'll see how the second level operates for Grambling. All the prowling they stopped doing for a while.
Edwards motions out of the backfield. Howard wanted him, but now looks to the end zone. Touchdown Southern. What a catch, Kendall Catalan.
Anthony, we talked about Howard being able to decipher coverage and everything else. That time he had a wide open bend to the side. He fakes out there and then he goes up top. This was a very nice throw by him and setting it up very, very well.
Passing Dawson Odoms on the sideline.
They're still in this game.
For his team.
They are right there. A lot of patience shown by the offense. They've been coming so close. Watching the special teams fail. They've missed 2 field goals. We'll see a Barajas Can knock home his second extra points. That's up and in. And Howard DeCatalon has a 3-point game, and look at Dawson Odoms.
It's the first game for Catalan. See him here working from off the line of scrimmage. So that allows, this is Charles we're talking about, that allows the free release. And from there, the corner route requires the quarterback, Austin Howard, to put it right on the money. That's pinpoint, throwing a wide receiver open.
And Herb Edwards, was on the, he was a running back going out to the outside. I thought initially, hey, throw the football. But it was set up perfectly because they knew he could beat him one-on-one. We talked about these one-on-one matchups with these smaller in stature receivers, and a great throw by Austin Howard.
That's eye discipline because you show the defense with your eyes that you may throw it out into the flat. The corner, Jatarius Pouncey, sucked up. That now dictates the one-on-one matchup and set up the open corner.
It's great recognition and awareness by Howard because he wanted to go to Edwards. And when you have 44 starts, you expect to know, okay, the corner comes up and a little route behind him ought to be open, and that's what he saw.
Guys, you bring up a great point. Troy Aikman, who I played with in college, would do that very well, even on the college level. He would look the defense off, and I knew I was going to be open. If I get to that spot, I had a chance to catch the football.
Martez Carter with a chance to bring this one back. And he gets out to the 35-yard line. All set up by the fact that they put the ball on the ground. The team that led and still leads the SWAC in turnover margin. Carter fumbles and Southern recovered.
There's a takeaway on the opening snap of the game. The Grambling's defense had the interception. Now Southern working their way back into the game. Defense turning to offense for the Jaguars.
Key point, too, guys. You have to score points off those turnovers, and that's what Southern was able to do in that particular drive.
Only the 8th turnover committed by the Grambling offense, and now the Southern defense in the backfield, throwing down Carter at the 30-yard line. Elijah Allen for a loss of 5.
Carter is still on the turf.
This is a look at the opposing end of what Carter had done so well earlier in the game. All those points we were making about him getting vertical.
Yes.
You start laterally, and then at a certain point, you plant your foot to go north and south. Here, the defense strung him out over and over again, ends up bellying backwards, and the pursuit from Southern takes over.
His shoulder stayed to the sideline. That gives you 3 or 4 defenders when you're going to their lane and their zone to flow and fill on you, and that's what happened there.
Martez Carter, easily the leading rusher for Grambling. 87 yards already today. We're back to the Superdome right after this.
Ever wonder why we face off on Wednesday night? Wednesday is Odin's day, the Norse god of war. How fitting that we'd witness a battle for supremacy on this night. See, Wednesday night separates mere mortals from the immortal, where lore becomes legend and the mighty become almighty. Wednesday night rivalry on NBCSN.
That's Grambling's leading rusher, Martez Carter. He's gone from laying down to sitting up. 3:11 left here in the 44th Bayou Classic. Tigers by 3. Here's the play on which he was just hurt.
He's maybe the most explosive element available to Grambling's offense. Think about all the talent that was lost from last season. And we were mentioning earlier his all-purpose ability. It's good to see him able to at least get up to some extent, be helped off the field here.
Elijah Allen was able to really just stay where he was and forcing the cornerback with a Sam linebacker even, and he was able to just stay with Martez and brought him down. Senior out of Monroe, Louisiana.
So coming into the offense in his place, Desharius Flowers wears number 28. And this is second down and long. Second down 15. Kincaid stepping up and firing. Excellent job by Danny Johnson. We mentioned he's already been invited to the Senior Bowl. There's an example why.
Aeneas Williams would be super proud of this play. This was an outstanding, and that's a former Southern alum who was so good at the cornerback position. Look at that. At the last second, you just reach out and knock that football down. Great play
One of the things defensive backs struggle with, when the ball's in flight, at the moment of truth, do you panic? And Danny Johnson has always shown the will, that mental aptitude not to panic at the moment of truth as the ball approaches the receiver he's covering.
3rd down and 15. The Southern defense came out of the halftime locker room ready to play. They bring 5. Kincaid goes deep. Little contact, a little bit of grabbing, but no flags. And it's 4th and 15.
He threw it into an area where there were 3 defenders. Now, this is one of those situations where you look shorter because you went for it all on the last play. That play there, get the 1st down, put yourself in position to keep the drive going and get this momentum back.
There certainly was a bit of a tug at the jersey. Definitely throwing it into double and at the end triple coverage. Maybe Benjamin Harris got away with a little something.
Kincaid will get the troops settled down there on the Grambling sideline. Houston is deep to receive from his own 23. Almost around the right side, brought down to the 29 after the punt of 47. Let's go to the sideline and check in with Lewis.
Well, Martez Carter is in some pain. He initially grabbed for his left rib cage on the field when they helped him off. And you can see right now as they lift up his jersey, they're trying to put an ice bag under his pads. You see that face right there? That tells you about the pain he's experiencing again on the left side, left rib cage.
Lewis, thank you. We saw the wincing there. That's the 3rd leading rusher in the SWAC. That's also the leading rusher today with 82 yards. In a lot of pain.
Last couple of years, 2015, 2016, an all-SWAC performer. In line to be all-SWAC again this year. It's a big loss for the Grambling offense.
Southern offense, last time they had it, put it in the end zone. Edwards across the 30-yard line. Penalty marker came in and lies on the 28-yard line.
Personal foul, hands to the face, 62 on the offense. 15-yard penalty, still be 1st down.
Called against Christian Rodriguez. In a nod to how well the defenses are playing here, especially for Southern in the 3rd quarter, each team has already had 4 possessions. But Grambling had 5 possessions already in the 3rd quarter. Southern keeps shutting them down.
You've got to think small chunk here. I don't anticipate Grambling bringing the additional pressure they normally bring. Can't get greedy offensively.
On 2nd and 25, they get a nice chunk right up the middle out to the 25-yard line.
Offensive line moves to the right. And great job by Herb Edwards of just breaking that ball right off to the left, picking up some of those yards back.
In between exclaiming his dance moves, one of the things he was pointing out was that he's become far more patient as a runner. Before, he was a guy who wanted to immediately get the football and advance on the defense. Now he can delay for just a hair to see where the crease opens up.
Gain of 10 brings up 2nd down 15. Cameron Mackey in motion. Howard from a nice pocket looks that direction and fires out of bounds. 3rd down and 15 is next.
And this is where Randall Menard, their returning receiver who was going to be the focal point of the passing game, he was more of a statuesque target. He's almost 6'4". He was great on the 50-50 on the jump ball. Ended up breaking his leg earlier in the season. They've been without him for quite some time now, but he was really the main target they had, who you could throw into a tighter window and think he had the frame to come away with it.
Southern's been pretty effective on 3rd down. They've converted 5 out of 10 times. This one will be difficult. 3rd and 15. Free play coming up. Just dumped it out of the backfield. That's Devon Ben.
Now that's how you get a free play.
Yeah.
It's the 2nd time today we've seen Howard use good inflection to draw the Tigers off sides. Would be a gain of 11.
Offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still be 3rd down.
There's another guy that we didn't see or haven't seen used properly as well is Dylan Beard. He's that bigger body receiver, but that You can see his body move. It's one of those hardest things. We used to call it a freeze play. You get those D linemen really coming off hard. You want to stall them a little bit and freeze them.
You want to see Austin Howard try for a shot play. He knows the defense is offsides there. You can take advantage of that by trying a deeper pass. You don't have to play it safe in that scenario when you know you got the flag coming.
A little more manageable here. 3rd down and 10. Tigers bring 4 and knock him down. Howard also lost the ball. Anthony Mullins with the emphatic sack for a loss of 9.
This Mississippi State transfer just put everything he had into the back of Austin Howard. Watch him turn the corner here as he comes off the edge. And Jodeci Harris is trying to get out there, but the get off from Mullins is so great. That first step advances on the offensive tackle. You got no shot at that point once he dips that inside shoulder and the burst to finish.
And if you are offensive lineman or even a tight end, when you have to block, if your shoulders are turned like that, you have no chance to block the end coming off the edge. You're done.
No surprise to see the defense that leads the entire FCS in sacks per game with 4. End the 3rd quarter that way. We knew we'd have the bragging rights coming into this one, but we have a game heading into the 4th quarter with the winner heading to the conference championship game next weekend in Houston.
Brothers and sisters! Ain't no party like a Soul Train party. The 2017 Soul Train Awards hosted by Erykah Badu. Give it up! Get your soul right with the reunion of Ladies of Soul.
SWV to the end of time.
With performances by Fantasia, Luke James, Tamar Braxton, Faith Evans, Method Man, and more. Honoring our legend, Toni Braxton. The Soul Train Awards with host Erykah Badu. Check your local listings.
102 hot chocolate? No. No. Yes. Girlfriend.
I want to have some. So tell me about your game. How'd it go? Keep up the good work, Your Honor.
The one place that'll always be your place. Mickey D's.
My daughter is studying to be a dentist, and she gave me advice. She said, Dad, go pro with Crest Pro Health.
Crest Pro Health protects all these areas dentists check most.
Immediately, I felt a difference. It did an extremely good job of cleaning.
4 out of 5 dentists confirm these Pro Health products helped maintain a professional clean. Go pro with Crest Pro Health.
My daughter inspired me to make a change. Crest Pro Health really brought my mouth to the next level.
Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
There is a very real possibility that the murder of Biggie Smalls is directly related to the murder of Tupac.
I take a breath, I'm not gonna lose. This is what I came here to do. I was made for this. I was made for this. Born in the wild, thrown in the fire, built for the battle. I was made for this. I was made for this. Mind over matter, silence and doubters. I have the power. I was made for this. A perfect 100.
Bow down to Nathan Chen.
And there it is! Shipred wins gold for the U.S. I was made for this.
Third quarter, fellas, all about the defense.
There's been pursuit from sideline to sideline from 2 defenses that have been hungry to make their imprint on a game with explosive talent all over the offensive backfield.
Yeah, there's a certain physicality you've been able to see from both of these defenses. And these offenses, Grambling averages 32.2 points a game, where Southern is at 28 points a game. They are way below their averages today.
And that's Grambling's leading rusher, Martez Carter. 82 yards so far. You saw him moments ago come out. Took the shoulder pads off, was wincing as he grabbed his midsection. And that would be a big loss for this Grambling offense. And they're going to start out in excellent field position here. Malik Rout. That's Martez Carter's replacement returning punts. 33-yard punt and takes it all the way down to the 26-yard line.
And this would normally be where Martez Carter would be making his imprint on the game. We saw him last season in the Bayou Classic go 88 yards to the house. That one closed the show for Grambling as they beat Southern in 2016.
And that's a return of 28 yards.
He had a chance maybe on the outside, but he's actually running and gets bumped into a big old offensive lineman, but still very nice play.
That's Desharius Flowers backing up Carter. Getting out just across the 25-yard line. Excellent job by Rote. And getting the accolades on the sideline.
Lee Castile will get another tackle, big 92. That was just has 6 on the year. That'll be 7 for him, which he probably wanted it a different kind of way.
Kincaid keeps it this time. Dives just across the 20-yard line, or right at the 20. And he gains 5.
Paul, this is the key now. When you lose a Martez Carter, you still have the ability of Kincaid with his legs. You can tell they are going to be cognizant of what they have to do and keep this clock moving, but also put points back on the board.
Kincaid, 17 yards rushing so far. Had the 9-yard touchdown run earlier. In trouble now. Buys a little extra time. Fires to the end zone. Opportunity missed for the Tigers there.
Talk about dropping a dime, and he still was running all over the field. This is just great extra effort. We've been talking about it all game, about the second and third level of rush, and your receivers stay alive. That was almost still there.
You've got to be special physically as a quarterback to be able to do this. Not just the reverse pivot, but then to regain your throwing mechanics enough to put this level of RPMs on the ball to get it to the end zone from that far away.
Caleb Salmon couldn't come up with it. 37 yards out for Orozco. And no doubt about that one. Right down the middle. Little bit of breathing room for Grambling. Early in the fourth quarter, the Tiger lead out to 6.
Are you ready to discover Southern University? SU is the only historically black college system in the nation. Discover innovation with 32 undergraduate and 23 graduate programs to choose from. Discover excellence with the world-class education provided by highly esteemed faculty and staff. Discover culture. Whether you're cheering the Jags to victory, enjoying the human jukebox, SU has that unique Louisiana culture. So, what are you waiting for?
Discover.
Discover you at SU.
At AHF Pharmacy, we believe your prescription should be the last thing you need to worry about. We're always developing new ways to make your life as convenient as possible. For over 25 years, AHF has been offering cutting-edge HIV treatment. Our experts are available 24 hours a day. Not only are we available anytime, we're available anywhere with AHF's home delivery service. 96 cents of every dollar earned at AHF Pharmacy goes towards the treatment of people living with HIV. AHF Pharmacy, your 24/7 HIV experts.
One time in New Orleans, well, before it was even founded, the French teenager Bienville scared away a British warship with just a story. And great stories kept coming. Some make you move to jazz, funk, and bounce. Some of our stories aren't quite as straightforward. While others prove that great things can happen, even on a Monday night. Because for 300 years, great stories have started in the same way. One time in New Orleans.
Our mountains challenge us, push us back, knock us down, tell us it can't be done. But then, one day you reach the summit, and you realize the harder the climb, the better the reward. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
The Bayou Classic on NBCSN is brought to you by the one place that will always be your place, Mickey D's. And by Crest, healthy, beautiful smiles for life. All kinds of highlights from Bayou weekend, guys.
The step show last night. So I was definitely plus 10 pull-ups back in my heyday. Paul Burmeister, in your heyday? Maybe a step show or two?
My next one would be my first.
Okay, all right.
Been to a few, and I advise you to go because you'll get caught up in the hype and you'll think you could step right there with them.
You think I didn't see your hips moving at halftime? I was watching you.
Hips don't lie.
You guys give me a pass next year?
Yeah. If I'm invited back, I'll definitely.
There you go. All right. Take in all the activities surrounding the Bayou Classic from start to finish. An active week. Jamar Washington, freshman wide receiver, takes the knee. And we'll see how the Southern offense now can respond. Defense bent, didn't break there. And now Austin Howard with a 6-point deficit.
And think about this opportunity. Austin Howard, as a freshman, won the Bayou Classic, had 3 touchdown passes in the first half, lit the world on fire, went to the SWAC Championship game. So 3 years later, he's lost the last 2 Bayous. He's the program's all-time leading passer, yards, touchdowns, got all those individual accolades, but he has yet to defeat the Grambling Tigers again. And now he's got the ball in his hands with a chance to do it.
Making his 44th start. Kicks off his 4th quarter here. That's Edwards out to the 30-yard line, gain of 5.
You know, guys, you bring up a great point. Dre Joseph was also the starter for Southern for years before he got here. His dad, Dre Joseph's dad, got him involved in football. He was his baseball coach. So he was made for these kind of moments around the Bayou Classic.
It dropped in the backfield, trying to cut it out to the right side, but Edwards goes down after a loss of 2.
The last 2 great Southern quarterbacks, Joseph and Howard, from a small town, not too far from here, Edgar, Louisiana. About 2,400 people in that town, and a lot of them here in person watching Austin Howard, hoping he can do something to get this Southern offense going again.
Southern 5 out of 11 converting 3rd downs. This one is 3rd down and 6.
That's a jittery defense right now from Grambling. You saw them there with a little blood in their fingertips. They want this 3rd down.
Play clock down to 2, down to 1. Gets it off in time. Out to the left. Excellent catch. Cameron Mackey hauling that one in. That was all hands there for the gain of 7.
And the accuracy of the pass to hit Mackey in stride, where he can keep his shoulders turned towards the sideline and his momentum can carry him towards the 1st down. It's a great ball from Howard.
Edward cuts it back just across the 40-yard line for a gain of 4.
And Anthony, your point also, he's on the other hash, throwing all the way to the other hash. Nice reach out, and Mackey, once he catches it, knifes up the field to pick up that 1st down.
He had only 3 receptions, the freshman did in September. He's had 14 cents coming into this game. And a great conversion there with the fingertips to keep this drive moving. Devon Ben in at tailback, and this is flipped out to the tight end Beard. His 2nd catch, tried to fight, and just barely got across that 45-yard line. Gain of 6 yards.
Charles, I'm interested for your thoughts on that, because as the catch comes in, this is another opportunity where he could have kept his momentum. Dylan Beard going towards the sideline, he kind of turns back to the inside there.
The minute you stop also, everything is coming from you from that other side, but that's where you really step on the gas. When you're that size at 6'2", 256, you should just be able to run over that defender. And when you stop, that's what gives them a chance to come and corral you.
Bringing out the chains to see if Beard picked up the 1st down. It looks like it's just enough. Another Southern 1st down. So much on the line here for both teams, as we've talked about throughout the broadcast, guys. The winner moving on to play in the SWAC Championship game. The extra little effort there from Beard getting his team the 1st down. But you also have a 9-game winning streak for Grambling, 6-game win streak for Southern. And you go bigger picture than that, the Tigers have won 24 conference games in a row. The last time they lost was a game you just talked about, the freshman season of Austin Howard. They lost here in the Bayou and haven't lost since.
Good job by the defensive line of not going. Austin Howard's record in the SWAC is 27-6. He knows how to win football games.
Inside give there. Out to the 49-yard line. That's backup tailback Devon Penn. Take a look at what's happened in the SWAC so far this season. One glance at that, you understand what's on the line here. The winner moves on to play Alcorn State.
Want to be in a position to win it all and play for the next step, which is the SWAC Championship.
Rolling out to his left. Good throw and catch, not enough for a first down. Brought in by Jamar Washington, freshman walk-on, picks up 3. And it'll be 3rd and 3.
Earlier, when Southern started to go tempo, that's what stopped Grambling from moving around, from stemming so much pre-snap. Here, we're not seeing that type of tempo from Southern, but the Grambling defense, not as much pre-snap movement in their front 7, and Austin Howard starting to carve them up.
Ben motions out of the backfield, wanted to go there and comes back. He wanted his backup tight end, Dennis Craig, and couldn't hang on.
Well, the other thing they've done is play go far to the left, far to the right, far to the left. He looks to the left or right again, right? And he has Craig. Craig just can't hold on to the football. Looks like he jammed his finger or something, but that was an opportunity right there to pick up that first down. Got to have those if you're Southern.
4th and 3, guys. You agree with the call to punt it away?
I do, because of the amount of time remaining in the game. To me, the next possession for Southern, if the score still is what it is, once you cross midfield, it's 4-down territory from there. I think right now field position is the right call.
Malik Rout deep to field the punt again. He's in for the injured Martez Carter. Took it 28 yards last time. Fair catch from his own 18-yard line. Punt of 30 yards. 10:36 left in the 4th quarter. The Grambling offense up by 6. Back on the field on the other side of the break.
One more showdown to rule them all. Be there as the crowd roars in excitement. 10 teams battle it out to become champion. In the end, only one will stand victorious. Are you ready to witness final judgment? The 2017 Toyota SWAC Football Championship. Be a part of the action at NRG Stadium in Houston, Texas on December 2nd. Get your tickets now at SWAC.org.
Get 2 Whopper sandwiches now for only $6. Only at Burger King.
Peace and light. It's Erykah Badu, your soul doctor. And this is Soul Right Radio. Soul Right.
Hi, Dr. Badu. How do I get my kids to eat their vegetables?
By increasing their vitamin soul intake with a double dose of Braxton's Tamar and living legend Tony mixed with Ladies of Soul SWV.
Will that work?
But it'll drown out them kids. Next caller.
Soul Right. Get your soul right at the Soul Train Awards with host Erykah Badu. Check your local listings.
We are proudly born with hair that grows strong as a storm. And strong is beautiful. Pantene Gold Series.
3 centuries of history. 6 blocks of shopping. Open 7 days a week. Come down and see why it's always festival season at the French Market.
Thursday night, a rivalry reignites, and everyone's getting together to watch the fireworks. Redskins, Cowboys on NFL Network and NBC, home of Super Bowl 52.
Wednesday night, the puck drops for an Eastern Conference clash as Tampa Bay takes on Boston. Lightning and Bruins. Wednesday night rivalry, 7:30 Eastern on NBCSN. Pretty good rivalry going on right now. The 44th Bayou Classic. Grambling in a tough game, looking for its 25th consecutive win, only winning by 6. Martez Carter, the top running back for Grambling. That was moments ago. He came running out of the locker room to cheers. Remember, he went pads off a few moments ago, and now he's back and on the field.
And this place erupted when it happened. Sounded like a home game for the Grambling Tigers.
The fake to Carter. Kincaid keeps it. Nice job by the Jaguar defense, getting him just before he got to that 20-yard line, tackled by Tyron Nash.
Guys, one other point, too. Both of these teams are coming off bye weeks, which allowed them a little bit of a healing process where you don't really get healthy completely in November, but also the physicality and the things they were able to do in their practice week to get really ready for this game.
And there's Carter with it, cutting back to the 21-yard line, his first carry since he left with an injury, and he picks up 1 yard.
Senior out of Monroe, Louisiana, had that turnover and didn't want to go out. Clearly, he just coming out, and like Anthony said, I thought this place was the roof was going to go off.
Willis Reed at the Garden. I mean, this place got loud the way he sprinted out of their locker room.
3rd down and 7. We'll see what Kincaid can come up with here. He's now dipped under 50%, completing just 12 out of 25 passes. And he's off that time as well. So bring up 4th down and 7.
His rhythm's off. It's interesting because earlier in the game we saw him throwing in rhythm. He'd hit the 3rd step or the 5th step. Ball would immediately come out. Now he's double clutching a bit. Devontae Kincaid holding the football longer than he needs to because DJ Clark was up the hash just beyond the chains and had an opportunity for a 1st down reception. Kincaid didn't see him, didn't throw it that way.
The guy that's been kind of quiet is Aaron Tiller. We have not called his name in a while, and they've really done a nice job of bottling him up some. You would think that's where Kincaid would really thrive.
Uncharacteristic inaccuracy. He had 6 consecutive games over 60%. And now he's 12 out of 26. Danny Johnson, fair catch from his own 46-yard line. A punt of 33. So now it's time for the Southern offense to respond once again. The defense has done a tremendous job keeping that Tiger offense in check. Only 20 points. They came in as the #1 offense in the SWAC, averaging just over 32 points per game. And the offense has been getting a little bit better as the game has gone on. Remember, they threw the interception on the first play of the game. Now they're just 6 points down, 9:26 left in the game. Austin Howard, 18 out of 28 so far. Right back to the air. And that was a catch for a moment by Dylan Beard, but couldn't hang on.
Austin Howard is lacing footballs to receivers. He's been doing so throughout the entire second half. Yet another drop here on the back shoulder throw. Dylan Beard comes from off the ball. Proper read. Great pass. Just yet again not able to haul it in. There's playmakers on the outside who need to play at the level that their great quarterback Austin Howard's playing at right now because he's dealing.
Nice defense by Derek Dixon. And a nice run by Edwards. 1st down to the 40-yard line.
That looked like Herb just said, okay, y'all, let me get the ball and take this right up the middle. My offensive line, you come off on people's second level, you get there, you knock them down, let me go at them.
Operating at a fast pace. Edwards off the left side, picks up 1. But keep in mind, the Tigers not used to being in this kind of game. They lost to Tulane 43-14 to start the season. But then in the 9 consecutive wins, all but 1 have been by double digits. Tight game in the 4th quarter. Here in the 44th Bayou, plenty of time, and Howard just fires that one away. Bring up 3rd down and 9.
Really nice job of coverage by the Grambling secondary, because whenever they get in that trip look, bunch look, it seems to confuse the defense. And that time they covered everybody well. He had to get rid of the football.
I like what Southern's been able to do when they've been in 12 personnel. That 1 running back, 2 tight end look. It's 3rd and long here, so they're not in it right now. But if they pick up the 1st down, look for 2 tight ends to return to the field.
3rd down and 9. If they pick up a few, we'll see if this is indeed 4-down territory. Inside of 9 minutes and down 6. Howard stands in and fires. Excellent fight there by Beard to get a couple of extra. Down to the 32-yard line. Tackle made by Montrell Meander, gain of 7.
This coach probably told him, okay, when you catch this ball, you finish the run. And nice job by Beard of getting down. Let me go and try to get this first down. Now, all you have to do is keep fighting and try to get that. They're going to go for 4th down because it's such a short distance to make.
4th down and 2. The Jaguars will go.
Play clock ticking below 10 now.
Ben is the tailback.
They're going to get a timeout call or a penalty.
Southern is called timeout.
Dawson Odoms wants to talk over the options. Huge play coming up. 4th down and 2. We'll have it for you when we come back.
In Louisiana, we have some of the best fishing in the world. And in Toledo Bend, we have the best fishing in Louisiana. This 185,000-acre lake was voted the #1 bass lake in the nation for 2 years running. And with dozens of waterfront resorts and marinas, you can stretch out your stay as long as you like, or at least as long as your casting arm holds out. It's true, you can fish pretty much anywhere, but you'll catch fish in Louisiana. Plan your trip to Toledo Bend Lake Country today at louisianatravel.com.
No service? Come on. Make sure you've got coverage where it matters most.
I just want to post a picture!
Switch to the smart choice, Cricket Wireless, and get a network you can count on at a price you can count on.
3rd and 8, Williams takes a snap, he drops back, he's got a man downfield, he throws. It's intercepted by Phillips! He's at the 40, he's at the 30, he's at the 20, he's got one man to beat, he's going all dog!
He's going all the what?
Nothing comes before coffee. That's why we're introducing a whole new line of espresso drinks from McCafe. Cafe quality from beans to espresso machines.
Touchdown! Approximately 4 seconds ago!
My checkups go well, but I want awesome. So my dentist told me about this.
Go pro with Crest HD.
Crest HD cleans and whitens my teeth to eye-popping levels.
Crest HD. 6 times cleaning, 6 times whitening.
I did it. Impress the dentist.
When you up in H-Town looking for some bundles, hit me up pronto, I tell you where to go.
Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair. Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair.
Call 281-382-4936, and we gon' make you a happy chick.
Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair. Girl, you better go to She's Happy Hair.
Yeah, look at you, want the style you need.
The first thing is to know yourself. What do you really want to do?
People are afraid to say they want to do something amazing.
I just decided I wasn't going to let people tell me what I could or couldn't do.
That's when I knew I wanted to be an Olympian.
The rest of the Bayou Classic presented by Louisiana Seafood. Shaping up to be a great finish. Grambling only up by 6. The winner moving on to the conference title game. 4th down and 2 right now for the Southern offense. Anthony, going to let your quarterback keep it, throw it, or give it to a running back?
I like Austin Howard in the pocket. I see one running back on the field, and I think they've had their most success out of 12 personnel. I only see one tight end in the lineup, but you do see this bunch formation that they've had success out of with 2 players off the ball with a free release.
Devon Ben is the tailback to the right of Howard on 4th and 2.
So now what they do is they got to check with me, and they can go and change whatever they looked at from the defensive perspective and try to attack it differently.
To the air, and nice and easy underneath. Excellent call, better execution. 1st down for the Jaguars, Jeremiah Houston.
It actually was 12 personnel. I missed Houston being there at the back end of that buck. So this is what they love. They got their back. They got their 2 tight ends. You utilize some of your bigger bodies. So even if Grambling does come up and press, if the window's condensed, you've got a more physical presence out there. Well-timed ball from Austin Howard.
Pretty good trust in the most experienced quarterback in your school's history. That's Austin Howard. Good calm in the pocket. And now it's 1st and 10 from the 21. And Ben off the right side down to the 19-yard line.
Try to go unbalanced line and just really get to the boundary. A lot of times you see big plays in the boundary when you go unbalanced or you just go with tight ends. That time they used a tackle over, put the big tight end Jeremiah Houston, who's 6'6", and just tried to pound Grambling on that run.
They went with it a lot in the first half where Jeremiah Abbey would trade sides. Hadn't seen it as much in the second half. Defense was able to react to it well there.
Howard under pressure. One-handed catch, then falls to the ground. Great effort by Houston. Couldn't bring it in.
Now Grambling deciding they're going to heat up the pocket again. They've been laying back, kind of doing what we don't see Grambling tend to do that much here. They bring 6 rushers. A couple of them drop back into his own concept, but DeAndre Hogues puts a nice lick on Austin Howard.
And where he vacated, that's where Howard throws. Whenever the quarterback knows the blitz comes here, I know behind that you're going to have a man trailing you. If I hit you right, you have a chance to run and pick up big yardage.
Once again, we'll see if they are in 4-down territory, if they pick up just a little bit of this 3rd down and 7. Sets it up underneath to Ben. Nice move to pick up the 1st down inside the 10-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal Southern.
Screen game slows you down. If you're the defense coming off and you knew Grambling wants to come after you hard, what do? Call screen game. Let those big guys get out in front, and then you go block them up, and you have a back like Ben who's able to make a few people miss. You pick up the 1st down.
Couple of terrific calls there to keep the chains moving there back to back. Going to a tight end and then underneath to their back. 1st and goal. Southern hasn't knocked off Grambling in the last 3 tries.
The trips to the top of the field with the Dylan Beard.
Around the right side goes Ben down to the 7-yard line. Late penalty marker comes in from the defensive backfield. Christmas with the tackle.
Hold it. 76 on the offense. 10-yard penalty, still remains 1st down.
And Skylar Prohl, and that one hurts.
Can't have those penalties when you're moving down the field. Big man just grabs him up, locks him up right there in the middle of your screen by the 10-yard line. Yeah, that was a WWE move.
Never good to see 1st and goal when you're outside of that 10-yard line. From the 18. Howard steps up. Gets quite a bit back to his tight end, Dylan Beard, gain of 10.
Big body, you use your body, and now Howard knows where those big guys. We said red zone is where they like him. He's just going to run a route, go to the defender, turn. Look, the big body. I'm going to get my body inside of yours, and I'm going to have my quarterback. I'm going to make myself available for the catch and the 1st down.
The diminutive receivers in the lineup are your young guys, a bunch of true freshmen on the field on the outside. Counting on the tight ends now, those bigger bodies, seniors, juniors, sophomores, having multiple bigger bodies who he's feeding.
10th play of this drive coming up. Wouldn't be surprised to go back to Beard. 13 career touchdown receptions for the tight end. Here comes the blitz. And that ball knocked down. Christmas was in there. Mullins as well.
Paul, you called it. He was looking for Beard. Beard was going to do a pivot route on his man, and he was coming open late, and Austin Howard knew he had him.
Such a fun defense to play in through Dearius Christmas. Really, everybody in the front 7, they get to do so much.
Yeah.
There's so much movement, so much prowling around both pre-snap and then post-snap. You have no idea where number 5 is going to be at, and he'll make you pay time and time again.
3rd down and goal. Edwards, the tailback, to Howard's left. Moves over to his right. Comes back to his right. Touchdown, Jaguars. Dylan Beard.
The unsung hero in a lot of these things are your blitz pickups and guys that are able to just make sure you keep your quarterback clean. Dylan Beard with a nice catch. He'll get all the stats and the glory, but when you turn on the film, it's going to be all the things that you've been able to do to make sure Austin Howard is clean in that pocket.
And how about this? The Jaguars losing the last 2 times to Grambling and throwing an interception on the first play of their offensive game. Coming back to tie it up at 20. A chance to go up by 1. And that's exactly what they do.
Let's check where the pass rush comes from in the pickup in the backfield. Right here where it happens. There's De'Arius Christmas. He's going to probably be the defensive player of the year. He'll blitz, and as it happens, you'll see the running back, Herb Edwards, come and meet him in the hole one-on-one. Right there, bang, as he gets it, just giving enough time to his quarterback, Austin Howard, and then taking advantage of the one-on-one matchup. Look at the accuracy right there. Back shoulder again, big tight end, as you know about Charles Arbuckle making it happen.
Well, you got to have guys that are unselfish, and Herb Edwards has been running the football. We didn't see him a lot in the first half. He came back, but you do just enough, and then Dylan Beard with a nice catch in the end zone against Grambling, a team that you've been trying to knock off the last few years, and they keep knocking you off. And this is what Odom said. Coach Odom said, this is what we have to do. This is why we're here.
That's seniors stepping up making plays. Austin Howard starting his 4th Bayou Classic. Dylan Beard starting another Bayou Classic as a senior. Herb Edwards, first year as a starter, but a senior who's been on this stage before.
Dylan Beard, 5 catches today, leads Southern. He had 5 total Bayou catches in the 3 seasons coming into this. It's Salmon looking for some open room, cutting it back to the left, and here we go. Salmon with a big-time return when his team needed it the most, gain of 41.
Short kick initially, and then he is able to move over to one side and look at, there's no coverage backside, and then all his guys turn. Let me give you a convoy. Where can I help you go? Let me pick up a block so you can try to take it to the house.
When you get out of your lanes on the kickoff team, there's so much juice flowing through your veins. You want to run down, you want to make a big play, but especially on the backside, once that return man starts to one side of the field, you have to be in a fold position, and Southern got out of their lane.
You can't have a short kick there either. You got to kick that ball as far as you can.
Kincaid with excellent field position, keeps it himself, and brought down just as he got to the line of scrimmage. That's Aaron Tiller, big number 94.
There's Nate, and there he is, and man, we talked about it. Kincaid just doesn't look as comfortable as he did in those first 3 quarters.
In the first half, he was 10 for 17. And second half, fellas, he's only 2 for 9. See if he can get something going here. Steps in. Just missed his top receiver, Darryl Clark.
And part of what's thrown Devontae Kincaid off is that we see a lot, both up front and in the secondary, guys laying back. The defensive front, sometimes 3-man pressure, but spying to the field side. In the secondary, as Grambling calls a timeout here, in the secondary where Southern has been so known on the back end for their press coverage, especially in situations like this, a lot more laying back, more bail looks from their defensive backs.
It's really put him in a position where he's, okay, I have to try to find this, but also watch the rush. When you see the rush coming, they're in their lanes and they're staying. Even if there's stunt game or whatever, somebody's going to replace the outside. Somebody's staying inside. Somebody on the other side. He just is not comfortable. You see they run an X game there, but they're still able to work through and keep him in the pocket.
And all that being said, would have been a difficult catch from DJ Clark, but Devontae Kincaid threw a ball that hit him in both hands, so that was an opportunity to move the chains.
Did a nice job of fitting it just behind the linebacker in front of the safeties.
Yeah. The other thing, too, guys, they haven't really thrown. He hasn't thrown those short passes to kind of give him a chance to get that 2 for 10 or 2 for 9 back moving again.
And just 12 for 27 for the game now. Big down here, leading 10. Looking left the whole time and fires a strike. Wow. Can't throw that one any better. That's to Geis.
We always talk about if your quarterback is struggling, give him a throw that he can make. That's one he's probably made a million times since he was a little kid, and he threw it on the money to Geis.
Quentin Geis, known as the fastest receiver there on the intermediate route, showing great footwork.
Great job of getting 1 foot down and also hanging on to that ball that had a lot of heat on it. 1st and 10 from the 29. Kincaid, dangerous play there, kept it, flipped it out to Darrell Clark, who tipped it up. Lucky to have 2nd and 10.
This is the RPO staple where the quarterback just runs down the line and gets the ball out quickly. Kincaid with too much juice on that pass.
He's charged up right now.
Kincaid back to the air. Underneath. Penalty marker comes in. Good effort there. Would be a gain of 8 to Jordan Jones.
Personal foul, face mask, 54 on the defense. Half of this is to the goal. All right, first down.
Whoa.
It's another big mistake by Jerron Johnson. We saw him earlier in the game on the edge. He was the one who missed the block that allowed the blocked field goal for Southern in their field goal protection. Here, they're calling for the hands to the face up front.
Huge penalty.
If this does come down to a field goal, Grambling looks to be in good shape there. They have the top field goal kicker in the conference in Mark Orozco. He's 2 for 2 today. And 16 for 19 on the season. This is Carter right up the middle. Touchdown Tigers.
That was almost too easy, guys. Carter comes in and they hand him the ball right there. No one to stop him. Very, very nice run by him.
Systematic dissection of the Jaguars defense by Devontae Kincaid and this Tigers offense. That was impressive.
And he didn't look comfortable at the very beginning, but then once he got going, it's just like, okay, a light bulb came on.
Montez Carter, almost like he knew someone up top was talking about maybe kicking a field goal.
Look, touchdown run happening right here in the middle. Your big guys need to be the ones to make it happen. William Waddell pulls across. This is just a power play, so the down block happens as well by Trent Scott. He's an all-SWAC performer, and getting vertical is Mr. Excitement to give the Tigers the lead.
Anthony, you bring up a great point. Back in the old days, you would have a fullback, but your guard kind of becomes your fullback when he folds around like that. And if he stays where he is, which he does, he's going to take on a linebacker, and then the secondary, you see that safety come behind and get caught up in the wash. That's why it was so easy for Grambling to score that touchdown.
The touchdown probably feels all the sweeter for Carter. Remember, earlier in the second half, left with an injury, went to the locker room. His return was in doubt, came back to a lot of cheers from the Grambling faithful, and now puts one in the end zone. And his team leads by 6.
The injury, the fumble, some moments earlier in the game that Montez Carter would like to have back in his last Bayou Classic. But he may have made the play that gives his team the game.
Caleb Salmon had the big return from Grambling to help them go ahead. We'll see if Southern can return that favor. This is Jamar Washington. Scoops it up. Goes down to the 13.
Jamar just can't get it. It's like a shortstop or when you're playing baseball, bad hop, but he was able to clean up after that.
Tackle made by Percy Cargo. And Austin Howard has been steadily bringing his team back. 23 out of 37, very efficient, all the more impressive when you consider his first ball of the day was picked. And now he's got 3:20 left and a 6-point deficit. Playing in his 4th and final Bayou Classic for a shot to play in the conference title. Flips it out late. And a nice job of going up to grab that one by Catalan. Gain of 7.
He had to climb the ladder for this one. Because Austin Howard couldn't step into it. Ball floated on him. Great catch from Catalan. Look at Austin Howard directing traffic, Pre-snap, setting the protection.
Back to the air and fumbles. And Grambling has it. Brandon Varner recovers that fumble.
The junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. That was pressure coming on Austin Howard right before he passed the football. And it might have been Varner. Varner does this. He gets the sack, does a perfect imitation of Lawrence Taylor, gets the fumble recovery. That was a very nice play.
It was such a great pass rush from Varner, working through the upfield shoulder of the guard. And then, after he gets through that upfield shoulder, able to finish, it looks like the arm to me was not yet going forward of Austin Howard, so I think that'll stay ruled as a fumble.
Signature play for that Grambling defense, coming in having forced more turnovers than any defense in the league with 26. Add 2 more today. That one was huge, and it's 1st and 10 from the 16. And there's the Southern defense. That was Champion making the play.
Check the right arm of Austin Howard as Varner comes in to make the strip. Arm motion going back, and it's right there, split second, Charles. I think it was
called their second timeout.
I don't think it was quite going forward yet. What do you think?
I don't think so either. I think he was still going back, and as soon as Varner hit him, it made it look like he was moving that arm forward. It was very close, but Varner with those long arms, you see him right there, able to hit that ball before he's even able to fire it.
And football's loose in the air, empty hand going forward. That's one of the points officials tend to look for. And let me underline just what a great pass rush that was. I mean, the situation in the game, it's very simple. You know, Varner's not a guy, when you study him on film, that does a lot of very tricky pass rush moves. He's like a Mariano Rivera type where he's only got a couple of things in his toolbox, but there you show very effective as an interior rusher, just powering off the ball through the outside shoulder of the guard, and then pad levels what got him home to finish.
And usually you expect that from the outside, but it's your interior guy from the defensive tackle position or area that was able to get there so quickly.
Southern with only 1 timeout remaining. Carter looking for something up the middle, gets out to the 19-yard line. And that was a gain of 1 to bring up 3rd down.
Now, if you're Grambling, you're in a position where you want to get points. Clearly, they're going to use as much time as they can to take it away.
I think they should have called a timeout there.
Southern has 1 timeout left.
I think it'll depend on the result of this play. If you get the 3rd down stop, then you utilize your last timeout.
Grambling would be in position with a field goal to make it a 2-possession game. Kincaid keeps it himself, stumbles out to the 18-yard line.
And now here it comes.
Now here comes the timeout.
Southern has called their 3rd and final timeout.
As you're hoping for the ability
timeout
to stop the clock because you only have 1 timeout remaining there. You're hoping for the ability after the 3rd down, where now the drive has come to a head, where you force them to have the clock stopped and attempt a field goal after your last timeout's been burned.
It's a critical field goal as well.
Injured Tiger on the field, guys, William Waddell.
He had the huge block on the last scoring touchdown from Martez Carter, sophomore out of Tallahassee, Florida.
The Tigers have to be confident what they have in their field goal kicker, Mark Orozco. Today, he's 2 out of 2, 42 and also 37 yards out. For the season now, inside of 40 yards, he's 10 out of 11. And this one would be from 36 yards out.
It's interesting because Orozco wasn't in the lineup for Grambling last season. He'd been injured by the point they got to the Bayou Classic. The year before, he was an all-SWAC kicker. So he's experienced. He's been on this stage before. He's performed in big moments.
Yeah, this one from 36 yards out for the season, 7 for 7 in the 30 to 39 range. He's now 8 for 8. Huge 3 points because his Tigers now lead by 9. Little gesture to the Southern sideline and fans as he knows he just made it a 2-possession game.
Couldn't get any better than that. Nice kick. Only clean hole, clean snap, clean kick, everything.
And Roscoe told us the other day he sees the Bayou Classic as a win or go home playoff game. He's treating it with that mentality. He came through in the clutch for the Tigers.
Talked quite a bit, guys, about how the Grambling defense came in as the most disruptive in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. They create 2 more turnovers today, and those turnovers lead to a touchdown in the first quarter, and then 3 points here, so 10 points set up by the most disruptive D in the conference.
Paul, you bring up a great point. They forced multiple turnovers in 6 of their games, and 3 games where they forced 4 or more turnovers. Against Alcorn State, they had 4 fumble recoveries and 3 interceptions. So they wreak havoc with the football. Southern knew that they had to play a clean game as far as keeping the ball away from them.
Danny Johnson from 3 yards deep. Doesn't make it to the 20, brought down to the 16-yard line. And so now Austin Howard is up against him, trailing by 9, 1:36 left, and no timeouts remaining.
Well, he's been second team all SWAC the last couple of years. Just happens to be that the Grambling quarterback was the offensive player of the year in the Southwestern Athletic Conference each of those 2 years. But this, one of the great passers we've seen in SWAC history. Not much time remaining, but the right arm of Austin Howard gives them as good a chance at a comeback here as any team could imagine.
You've got a defense, though, that's shown a propensity to get after the football. He has to protect it in this drive.
Goes to the short game early and has that one dropped by Cameron Mackey. One of his 3 freshman wide receivers bring up second down 10.
When they brought those 3 receivers in, Mackey and Jamar Washington and Catalan, they all just started making plays for this offense.
Yeah, Howard's percentage went up 10 points.
Yep.
Yards per game went up over 100 yards when those freshmen came in. Plenty of time right there. Ball knocked away. And making the play for the Tigers, Jeremy Carter from his linebacker spot.
All my years of offense, when you throw late, that's a big chance for somebody to undercut and take it back to the house.
It's interesting that this Tigers defense still playing with a downhill mentality. It's a 2-score game, just a minute and a half left, but they're not laying back. They're not going into prevent mode. Still pressure being brought, still press on the outside.
This time they rush 3. Plenty of time for Howard stepping up. His second interception of the game. Diamante Johnson.
What did Coach Fobb say? We play how we play. And you brought up the going full bore. Our defense has to create turnovers. This is why this team has been so good. Plus 19 coming in, now plus 21 after that turnover.
There's zone eyes in the backfield for Diamante Johnson. To the field side as a corner, ball sails in the right hands of Austin Howard. And that's the moment that could potentially close the show for the G-men.
Actually plus 22 because they've had that fumble recovery they had, and now that turnover there. Player on the field right now.
And unfortunately, that is their leading tackler, Dearius Christmas, number 5.
He has just been dynamic. Talk about the tackle total, but against Alcorn State when he was SWAC Defensive Player of the Week, he had 14 tackles. And we watched him today. He was all over the field. You talk about sideline to sideline. His rush ability is also one of those things that he does very well.
And folks who watch Netflix, they've seen him for the first time on Last Chance U. He's a player who's featured there when he was at the junior college level. He's been with Grambling a couple of seasons now, coming out of the junior college ranks. But let's see, it may have been a non-contact injury. He's being helped off the field now. You see him coming from the top of the screen, hustling to the ball as per usual. He's up there towards the top left and then just sort of starts to pull up lane. We'll wish the best for De'Arius Christmas. He's in line for so many accolades. When they won the SWAC Championship last season against Alcorn State, he was the defensive player of the game in the SWAC Championship.
A team that prides itself on making plays in the other team's backfield. The team leader in tackles for loss and also total tackles. Meanwhile, the best formation in football if you're a quarterback, and that's the victory formation. No timeouts left for Southern. And the Tigers, this was a tough one. This one was in doubt, but it's going to turn into their 25th consecutive conference win.
I really like the effort that Southern gave, but that Grambling defense, we saw it show up the very first play of the game and one of the last defensive plays of the game, where they just really make it difficult for you to get comfortable on offense.
There's a reason Broderick Fobbs, in the 3 years he's been the head coach of this team, has won the SWAC Coach of the Year award all 3 times. He may be in line for a 4th this year as they make yet another trip to Houston to face Alcorn State.
As for Southern, Austin Howard in his 44th start, most in school history, had his first pass intercepted today and his final pass picked off. In between, he was pretty good.
Let's talk about his, a lot of times guys, and he had guys like Ellis Johnson, he mentioned, and others, but he said my dad. My dad was the guy that really helped me with my understanding.
And that's how a 25th win in a row in conference looks. 3rd consecutive in the Bayou. All the while punching their ticket to next week's conference title game in Houston against Alcorn State. The Tigers are your Bayou Classic champions once again.
I believe that's the 2 best coaches in the SWAC meeting at midfield. Broderick Fobbs, after losing the first time he and Dawson Odom faced off back in 2014, he's been able to win the last 3.
A lot of healthy respect between these 2 programs. Play every year, and a lot of these kids grow up playing against each other, playing with each other in high school. On the same teams, and it just shows the respect that they have for one another.
How about Devontae Kincaid? A very different approach throughout the season for the way Kincaid utilized his personal skills. Not quite as explosive, didn't take quite as many chances with the ball because the experience around him at wide receiver was very different. In his 2nd year after joining from Ole Miss as a transfer, his mother, LaTanya Boyd, watching this very closely.
Lewis Johnson on the field with a very happy head coach, Broderick Fobbs.
And Coach here surrounded by his family, in a big moment for him and the Grambling Tigers. So, Coach, how big is this win? How tough was the challenge to get to this moment today?
Well, I mean, anytime you have a Dawson Odom's coach team, you're going to get their best shot. My vote is for him for Coach of the Year. I thought he's done a heck of a job. He lost a lot of key players, and they just keep rolling. But this is probably our best win since we've been at Grambling. The adversity we went through in this ball game, not playing as well as we wanted to, but, having the resolve, to really fight back when we were down, and make those plays in the end. That's what counts, and that's what champions do.
What do you have to say for your defense today that started with a turnover, first play of the game? You add 2 more turnovers to the many that you had for this season.
Well, Coach Todd and the defensive staff and the players, they've done an exceptional job all year long. And, and at the end of the day, we're a team. And they've done an excellent job, and, they were on their heels a little bit, but they fought back and made the plays when it counted.
So I'm on your sideline, and I see Martez Carter over on the bench, shirt up, ice on the left rib cage, in pain, looked like he was done. How in the world did he go in, come back out, and then score the final touchdown to help push you guys over the top?
Well, he's from Monroe, Louisiana.
Is that it?
And that's what we do.
All right, now you guys have won this game. You're on your way to the SWAC Championship. How do you think this team is in terms of mental, physical poise for that challenge, which will be next week?
Well, we're battle-tested, and we've been through it before. And there was no wavering on the sideline, when we went down 1. And, you're going to be tested in different ways, and you're going to have to win in different ways. And we did that tonight, and that speaks volumes about our recruiting and our players, our coaches, and all parties involved.
Speaking of tested, I've got to ask you about your quarterback, Devontae Kincaid. He had a hot start. Things kind of got quiet late. What did you see in him as he led the team today?
Well, he's our leader, and everything that we do, has a lot to do with him, and he and Martez Carter, being able to get up off of that bench and get back in there and play, and then having the quarterback to make plays like he made. I mean, that's what it takes. We're a good team.
I was talking to Eddie Robinson III earlier in the game, and he said that you emulate so much Coach Rob and what he represents, and that's why he's back around. What's it mean to have the responsibility of this team, knowing what Coach Rob left here as a legacy, to lead it the way you are right now?
Well, I don't know about that. You know, I wear a size 11 and a half, and I think his shoe was a size 20, so I don't know if I can fit those shoes, but I appreciate the comment. I appreciate all that he's done for me, and I appreciate Grambling. You know, Grambling is just an awesome place. You know, when you look at what we've been able to accomplish, you know, not too many teams can play in front of 70,000+, have a chance to play in a bowl game, graduate your athletes, and then experience the things that we've experienced with the venues we play in. You know, Grambling is the place to be. I have to do my recruiting pitch right now.
Fantastic. Congrats on today, and good luck for next week.
Thank you so much.
Paul?
And Lewis, the way his team played was a pretty good recruiting pitch, winning their 3rd consecutive Bayou Classic. And singing that alma mater feels extra special after you knock off your top rival to earn a spot in the conference title game. We just heard Broderick Bob say that was his best win yet. He's been the head coach for 4 years. What impressed you the most about it?
He's won quite a few games, but this one felt different because there wasn't the talent gap this year that there was in last year's Bayou Classic. We've seen a Grambling team that's been ascending in recent years, but right on their heels has been Dawson Odoms and Southern. This game overall had those swings, those haymakers going back and forth.
He talked about those young guys before the game on the field. He said Arkansas Pine Bluff got us in position. It seemed like that today. They really had to challenge themselves when they got behind, had to keep finding ways, and this team was really good at coming back every single time they needed to.
A lot of really good plays made by the Tigers. We could only pick a few, though, for the McDonald's plays of the game. Guys, what did you see?
I'm seeing the run game. We saw a Willis Reed type moment for Mr. Excitement. Martez Carter, he came back into the lineup. His offensive line opened up a gaping hole and gave him the lead late in the game.
And Brandon Varner with this great inside pass rush move, getting to the quarterback before his arm goes forward. Austin Howard can't quite get there. And that was an excellent play by Brandon Varner.
Let's go back to the field and check in again with Lewis Johnson.
Well, it was quite a defensive performance today, and Brandon Varner was right in the middle of it. At the very end, the sack fumble play that you were involved with. Take us through that and what it was like to execute, bring the team on around the victory.
Yes, sir. Coach Ty had been on us all week on technique, run it right, and I saw the look that I had been looking at all week, and I took it, and I got the sack.
That was an incredible play. And to see the emotion on this building, to see that was lifting your team, what did that mean?
It meant everything to me. The whole Grambling, we just been working hard. I just want to thank Coach Todd, the D-line, Coach Foss, everybody. We're going to do everything we need to do.
And you better thank this running back right here, Martez Carter. There was a moment when you were on the sideline there in pain with those left ribs, and you looked like you were out of the game. How did you come back and score that final touchdown we saw?
I just went back there and told him just to kind of tighten my ribs up, kind of wrap me up a little bit, and maybe I could sustain the pain. But the wrap was too tight. So I just put me 2 ibuprofens back, man. I just pushed forward and told Coach, man, put me back in. He said, I can't. But at the end of the day, man, big-time players make big-time plays, man. I'm a big-time player.
And you did that. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
All righty, Paul.
And Lewis, yes, he did make plays. Run game and the receiving game, over 100 yards of total offense, and also 2 touchdowns. Final thoughts on what you saw here today, guys?
Family affair for the G-men. Broderick Fobbs as a running back for the Tigers, 2 touchdowns, 2 Bayou Classic wins. Nice to see the way this program's been able to flourish.
He's able to do it with the team that knows how to be physical. They know how to fly around the football. When they need to make plays, they always seem to make them.
30-21 the final. Congratulations to Grambling, Bayou Classic champions for the 3rd consecutive year. Well, it was certainly in doubt late. Grambling trailed 21-20 before coming back strong to finish and win 30-21. For Anthony Herron, Charles Arbuckle, Lewis Johnson, and our entire crew, I'm Paul Burmeister. Thanks for being with us. Tremendous weekend in New Orleans ends with a Bayou Classic victory for Grambling. Up next, Bridgestone Skate America, the ladies' short program.